women in government hospitals in the state. He says, and I quote, "A society or a system is as good as its weakest link, giving life to the people who do not have anybody to help them. Empowering the youth through the One Youth, Two Skills initiative, where in the first phase, he has spent 2 billion naira to empower 5,000 youths. And the second phase is ongoing, empowering over 20,000 youths on different tech skills through the solution innovation are still coming, ladies and gentlemen. Square kilometer of road in their lives. Within 9 months in office, he employed 5,000 teachers, ladies and gentlemen, and just recently he employed more 3,115 teachers to bring it to 8,115 teachers to end the era of schools without teachers. And just, ladies and gentlemen, over 1,000 doctors, nurses, and other health professionals were employed in this state to end the era of hospitals without teachers, without doctors, nurses, and health professionals. Before he came on board, 9 local governments were under siege, taken over by hoodlums. But Mr. Governor started tackling insecurity in Anambra State head-on. He always says, and I quote, "Our environment is our #1 existential threat." He has focused so much on environment, the silting out drainages, prompt evacuation of wastes. Under his watch, he has made the state conducive for investment to thrive. Anambra State is ranked best in fiscal transparency, ladies and gentlemen. #1 in ease of doing business. That's why you should invest in Anambra State. He is the Champion Newspaper's Governor of the Year on infrastructure and rural development. And so many firsts in the numerous awards the students from Anambra State are winning in Nigeria and internationally. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, there is so much to be said about this man, but for the want of time, the Anambra are lucky to have him as our leader at this time that we needed a Messiah, the game changer, the trailblazer, the rave of the moment. In Yoruba, he will be called Ogad Bayung Yung. In Hausa, he will be called Megidamu. In Efik, you will call him Etiadao Sungyin. In Latin, he will be called Dox Nosta Magnus, meaning Eziboto Nyendu, a great leader. The power of one man. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the man, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, CFR, Mr. Solution. Please, can we put our hands together for him? Ladies and gentlemen, I understand the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, yes, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is ably represented here today by the Minister, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, Dr. Emeka Vitalis Obi, MNI. Please put your hands together for His Excellency. We want to welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the Deputy Governor of Anambra State, Dr. Onyekachukwu Ibezim. Welcome. We have in our midst Ambassador Isaac Parashina, the Kenyan High Commissioner to Nigeria. We also have in our midst, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hilary Omunna, the Regional General Manager, Airport Manager, the representative of the Honorable Minister of Aviation and Aerospace, Honorable Festus Keyamo, SAN. We also have in our midst, ladies and gentlemen, the Speaker of the Anambra State House of Assembly, ably represented by the Deputy Speaker of the Anambra State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Chuma Okoye. We also have a great African woman, an Amazon, the resident representative of the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, talking about Miss Elsie Atafua. Ma, you're welcome. We will not leave out Mr. Emeka Ozigwe, the Group Managing Director for Strategy, Africa Export-Import Bank. And also, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cornelius Adebayo, the Executive Secretary of the National Agricultural Land Development Agency, NALDA. And then Mr. Oliver Alauba, the Chairman or the Chief Executive Officer, United Bank for Africa. And we have Mr. Mustafa Chike Obi, who is the Chairman of Fidelity Bank PLC and also Chairman of ANSIPA. We welcome you. And Mrs. Nneka Onyali, the Chairman and CEO of Fidelity Bank PLC. Mr. Haruna Abrahaman is the Executive Director, NMPC Gas Marketing Limited. We have in our midst members of the Anambra State House of Assembly, Honorable Commissioners of Anambra State, representatives from the organized private sector, MAN and Chambers of Commerce, distinguished leaders, Chief Cosmos Maduka, who prefers to be called Dr. Cosmos Maduka, and then Chief Innocent Chukuma and Chief Emeka Ofo. Honored guests, esteemed colleagues and members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we welcome you to this year's Anambra State Investment Summit. And I want to let you know that I am not alone in the business of comparing this event. I have with me the great one himself, Ebuka Obi Uchendo. Can you put your hands together for him?
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to the Anambra Investment Summit 2024, or as we like to call it at ANSIPA, 2.0. We are gathered here again a year later to continue the message we started last year. I think last year His Excellency was very, very emphatic when he said Anambra will no longer be a transit point. It will become a destination. And I think we're starting to see the fruits of that labor. Our hands together for ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody who was here last year can see the marked difference already. We've started seeing some of the fruits from last year yield results. We saw the exhibition outside. And even just driving around Oka, you can see changes already with the infrastructure. So it's no surprise that His Excellency won the award, like you said, as the best governor for infrastructure. If you go to Onitsha, it's even more impressive. It looks like a completely different city, and I know that that is a sign of even more things to come for Anambra State. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-anchor here has said a lot. If there's one thing I learned from the event last year, is that His Excellency does not like to waste time. So we're going to keep things very, very quick and short this year. And he doesn't like to be called His Excellency, like I've been told, Mr. Governor. Thank you very much for having us here today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be getting a lot of inspiration from today's event. We have a few panels coming up, but we also have a lot of goodwill messages that will be coming up as well. I have a very, someone I say is a favorite speaker of mine who's going to be speaking today, the chairman of Coscharis, Chief Cosmos Maduka, who tells some of the most beautiful stories. If you've ever heard him speak, you know that you are in for an inspiring afternoon here today. But aside from that, I think the one key message we want everyone to leave with from here today is that Anambra is open for business. It's no mistake that Anambra State is number one when it comes to fiscal responsibility and transparency. It's not a miracle. It's hard work that Anambra State is number one with ease of doing business in the southern states. There's a lot to be done in Anambra State. And I hope that besides all of the speeches you're going to hear today, we also want you to network. And in spite of government, you know, the private sector is very important to us. And we're hoping that you network today, make those contacts, and bring those investments and opportunities back here so that Anambra can truly shine like our wonderful anthem says. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting a quick opening remark. Like I said, we're trying to keep things very quick and sharp today so that we'll all be done here as early as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gathered here because the people and the government of Anambra have invited us here today to hear their side so that they can join us in this beautiful ride. And the Anambra Investment Summit is the best way to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Anambra State Investment Promotion and Protection Agency are the key hosts for today, and it's only fitting that I call on our chief host, if I may say that. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I welcome on stage the MD of ANSIPA, Mark Okoye.
I'm not the chief host, I'm the baby host. My boss is the chief host, Mr. Governor. His Excellency, Mr. Isaac Panashina, the High Commissioner of the Kenyan High Commission, Mr. Governor, Anambra State Governor, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, please permit me to stand on all due and existing protocol. Good morning and welcome to the second edition of the Anambra Investment Summit. It is a great honor to address you today as we embark on a crucial chapter in Anambra's journey of transformation. This year's theme, Changing Gears, Accelerating Anambra's Economic Transformation, speaks to the collective resolve we share to shift Anambra into high gear, moving from potential, from aspiration to action. As we reflect on the progress from the last year's summit, I am proud to highlight the significant strides we have made. The projects signed and launched in the first summit are no longer just ideas. They are actively being implemented across the state and are at varying levels of implementation, which you will see in the documentary that follows my speech. Some of those agreements have also crystallized into investment-ready opportunities, while others are still a work in progress. The progress the Soludo administration has made is a testament to the commitment the governor has towards making Anambra a thriving investment destination. But before I proceed, I would like to take a brief moment to recognize someone very special in the crowd today. With all due respect to protocol, sir, I must acknowledge the presence of my lovely mother, Chief Mrs. Christy Okoye. whose blood, sweat, and tears have shaped who I am today, and her sacrifices and unwavering support are the reason I stand here today. Thank you, Mom, for everything. Now, moving forward, this year, we are taking the next step in our journey. Changing gears requires not just momentum, but a strategic focus on the future. Despite the challenges we faced, it is clear that the role of policymakers is to come up with actionable solutions that make a tangible difference in the lives of our residents. Governor Soludo and his team, which I'm a proud member of, have shown unwavering dedication to transforming Anambra from a place of opportunity to a destination for investment and prosperity. The goal is simple: to make Anambra a beacon of sustainable growth and economic development. This summit is a critical part of the vision. It's our collective duty to focus on long-term planning and the creation of a framework that will ensure the sustainable growth of our economy, one that guarantees prosperity and transformation, not just today, but for generations to come. As someone who has had the privilege of serving in the state foundation Governor Soludo is laying today will be fully and deeply appreciated in the future when the positive impact of his work will be felt by generations that follow and generations unborn. Our approach has been very clear. We are no longer dreaming about development, as he tells us. We are preparing for it. The Soludo administration is leading the charge in ensuring that projects are not merely conceptualized, but they are investment ready. Through strategic investments in key infrastructure, including land acquisition, master planning, special economic zone status applications, and essential utilities such as power and water, we are ensuring that our projects are not only bankable, but they are sustainable. This level of preparation is the big difference between how we view project development today compared to the past. It is the model that can position Anambra and Nigeria as a whole on a trajectory of growth that will unlock billions of dollars of investment that are currently sitting idle due to lack of preparation and foresight. At this summit, we are presenting a range of projects that are ripe for investment. Our booths today are manned by experts who will walk you through these opportunities, providing you with detailed investment teasers and the chance to fill out our electronic expression of interest forms. Whether we represent a financial institution, a high net worth individual, or a private investor, I invite you to explore these opportunities with us and join us in changing gears in Anambra State and Anambra's future. I would like to take the moment to thank our esteemed sponsors, Fidelity Bank PLC, UBA PLC, Zenith Bank PLC, Cardinal Stone, Oranto Petroleum, the United Nations Development Programme, the European Union, and the Africa Export-Import Bank for their generous support, both in cash and in kind. I would also like to recognize our transport and logistics partner, Oma Motors, whose made in Anambra CNG vehicles have been moving our delegates around the city seamlessly. Your support has been invaluable, and we're deeply grateful. As we move forward, let me leave you with this message. Anambra is a land of infinite opportunities, and as you all know, the solution is here. Thank you, sir, and God bless.
I think he deserves a bigger round of applause. Very good job by ANSIPA. They are doing a lot of work to continue to showcase Anambra State and make sure that we get the message that Anambra, like I said, is open for business. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't necessarily listen to him, which I doubt, or get the message, we have a very quick documentary for you to give you a bit of an insight into all the great things that the Anambra Investment Summit has been up to in the past year and all the good work that ANSIPA continues to do. So please pay attention to the screens.
2022, Governor Charles CFR outlined a livable and prosperous homeland that he intends to live in Anambra State after governing it. Intention to build a livable and prosperous smart megacity where people can live, work, relax, and enjoy.
Our goal is to build Anambra into a livable and prosperous smart megacity. This agenda is also personal. I am here to join you in building a society where I will be proud to live in after leaving office.
Driven by the philosophical notion of one Anambra, one people, one agenda, Soludo's vision entails making Anambra a destination point rather than a departure lounge. As a result, his administration set out and hinges on 5 pillars of development. The pillars include security, law and order, economic transformation, human capital, and social agenda, governance and value system, and the environment to give foothold to potential investors. No doubt, the past Anambra Investment Summit in 2023, held in Awka, set the stage for an unprecedented economic growth and development in Anambra State. This summit brought together business leaders, investors, policymakers, and government officials from all over the world to discuss investment opportunities and partnership possibilities replete in Anambra State. This summit resulted in the signing of several investment deals with 13 organizations across sectors including commerce, automobile, among others, worth billions of dollars, which has led to the creation of thousands of jobs and the acceleration of economic growth in our nation. MOUs were signed with Afri-Exim Bank for financing of major infrastructure projects, including the Anambra Mixed-Use Industrial City and Transcommunication Limited for delivery of a master plan for Anambra Intra-City Rail connecting Awka, Ekwulobia, Nnewi, and Onitsha. This has been completed. Oma Motors. Others are GVE Projects Limited, which have started to provide a 1 megawatt solar IPP to serve previously unserved communities in Anambra West. Sundry Markets Limited for the development of Awka Shopping Mall. Nimet Pharmaceuticals, Dozie Group, Greenlight Pharmaceuticals, and the Association of IC. The International Convention Center Hotel in Awka has equally taken off.
I want to say to you, and that message has been said, Anambra, the light of the nation, is on the move. Our journey to making Anambra the next axis of sustainable prosperity is on course. With an economic size of estimated at about $20 billion, a population of about 8.5 million people, it's important that our people know, the world knows, that Anambra has the highest population density after Lagos. After Lagos, the state with the highest population density per square kilometer is Anambra State.
It is Anambra State has made significant progress in this regard, with the construction of over 500 kilometers of road that feature high-quality standards, including cement stabilization and stone base before asphalting. The state has since commenced the dualization of major trunk A roads, including Amobia to Uga, Agulu to Nnewi, Nnewi to Okija. The iconic Ekwulobia flyover is fast bringing up to be delivered soon. The state government has implemented an Operation Zero Potholes program, repairing over 392 kilometers of roadways across 21 local government areas, including to enhance transportation. For the first time, 33 years after the creation of Anambra State, Governor Soludo is building a befitting government house and governor's lodge in Awka, the capital city. it is 90% completed. The Solution Fund City is equally about 80% complete. Remodeling of Dr. Alex Ikweme Square, Oka, is 90% completed. To facilitate fast internet speeds, the state is collaborating to lay fiber cables with 600 kilometers already laid. Furthermore, the Anambra State Investment Promotion and Protection Agency is undergoing restructuring and expansion to encompass project development and finance, implementation of open government initiatives, digitization and harmonization of payable fees, taxes, levies, and tolls. The government has also introduced the Anambra State Geographical Information System, AMAGIS, to streamline land administration. Judicial reforms, including the establishment of a small claims court to expedite the justice system. To enhance transparency, the state website publishes processes, timelines, fees, levies, and contact details for key businesses enabling MDAs. Additionally, the website features a grievance redress mechanism for businesses, while the Anambra State Small Business Agency provides concessionary loans and grants, totaling over 2 billion naira for businesses. Anambra State has also invested in education with the recruitment of over 8,115 qualified teachers and the distribution of 2,000 laptops to head teachers and principals of primary and secondary schools.
Anambra State understands that its greatest asset is human capital and has therefore made deliberate efforts to build a productive workforce that can be exported abroad. To achieve this, Governor Soludo declared free education from public nursery, primary, and secondary schools, resulting in the state now having the lowest number of out-of-school children in Nigeria and an 18.74% increase in enrollment. The state has received numerous national and international accolades for its achievement in the education sector.
The government has also provided skills training and mentorship to over 5,000 youths and launched digital skills training for 20,000 youths, backed by a 2 billion naira seed funding grant. All these factors have contributed to improving the ease of doing business in the state.
Aiming for a ranking of first position in Nigeria, with the state already being ranked as #1 location in southern Nigeria, according to the federal government's Ease of Doing Business ranking. Governor Soludo is deeply committed to his urban regeneration agenda. His massive interventions in Ukpogo and Ochanja leaves much to be desired. Governor Soludo has earned recognition as the best governor in Nigeria for his efforts in infrastructure development, particularly in rural areas.
Today, due to the government's investment in manufacturing, the outcomes are mind-blowing. The investment in infrastructure has contributed to the improved connectivity and accessibility across the country, further promoting economic growth and development. The investments in healthcare also had a
delivery, resulting in received care successfully.
Improved maternal health and increased life expectancy. Furthermore, the investment in the technology sector facilitated the growth of several startups, attracting technology investors and companies, creating jobs and spurring innovation.
The state ranks first in digital infrastructure.
Through the Investment Summit, the Soludo-led government has contributed significantly to the acceleration of result in improved standard of living, reduced poverty levels, and an overall better economic outlook for our nation.
the past Anambra Investment Summit is a legacy for generations to come. With all these being intentionally put in place, Governor Chukwuma Soludo has succeeded. What are the investment opportunities? Anambra is a state in Nigeria. City, AMIC, offers investors the opportunity to tap into the growing industrial and manufacturing sectors with incentives for establishing manufacturing plants, warehouses, and logistic hubs, vitality hubs, with an emphasis on smart city elements. The Solution Innovation District, SID, offers incentive focus on ongoing infrastructural projects. Such opportunities for investment opportunities also exist in the power and electricity market for power generation, processing facilities, and distribution networks. Additionally, the state, through the Anambra Solid Minerals Development Company Limited, has invested in Caroline Development with a soon-to-be commissioned processing facility in Nepal early next year. Other solid minerals, detailed engineering designs for the new Onitsha main market, the largest in West Africa, along with other designs, and enhancing waste management. The Orca ICC Hotel project is expected to cater to both businesses and leisure guests, with opportunities for premium accommodations, dining, wellness facilities, and business centers. The Anambra Basin is judged to have the highest gas reserves in the country, with over 30 trillion scuff of natural gas. Companies such as Cottonwood Gas and Sterling Exploration and Energy Production Limited are already producing gas in Anambra. Significant opportunities exist for investors in gas reticulation and distribution, gas-fired independent power projects, etc. In the area of tourism, we are intentional in master plans and business cases to drive investment into UN heritage sites such as Obunike Cave, Orezukala Waterfalls, Aguru Lake, and Anam White Sands Beach.
You know, some of you, when you hear solution is here, it sounds like just a mantra, but we have seen it, and we are seeing it continue to manifest. Once again, a big round of applause for Anambra State, the Anambra State government, and everything that continues to happen in this beautiful state of ours. I'd like to quickly recognize the Honorable Minister for Regional Development, who has joined us here, Engineer Abubakar Momo. Can we give him a round of applause? You're very welcome, sir. Thank you very, very much for being here today. Also here with us, the MD CEO, Sterling Oil Exploration and Energy Production, Chief Tony Chukwueke is here with us. Can we give him a big round of applause? Thank you very much. We also have the Divisional Head of the SME Directorate at the bank. Thank you very much. And to those of us who are going to be coming up to speak, we know you love Anambra State, but try and keep it as short as possible. Let's try and keep it to about 3 minutes. We love your stories, but please keep it as short as possible. When the love is short, it's sweeter. Ladies and Gentlemen Development Program. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Ms. Elsie Atafu as she joins us here on stage, ladies and gentlemen. While she makes her way on stage, ladies and gentlemen, who are doing amazing things in the business community. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Emeka Ofo is here with us. Can we give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Sa'i, you're welcome, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the country director of the UNDP.
Anambra, Professor Charles, Honorable Minister of Regional Development, Honorable Abubakar Momo, Excellency, the High Commissioner of Kenya. Excellency, I'm here in Mayakwete to show solidarity with the people of Anambra today. Whilst I have the floor, let me also take the opportunity to thank the people of Anambra for the very warm welcome to us as United Nations Development Program. But importantly, Anambra has been friends with the United Nations. And when we had the unfortunate situation in 2011, Anambra provided us with a home in Abuja for years on end until the United Nations House was built. So we are here to also show gratitude to the people of Anambra. Excellency, I'll keep my message short because I think the moderator says we shouldn't speak too much. But I wanted to, does it matter now? And I just wanted to say about 4 things why it matters now and the imperatives for us to change gears. As the largest development agency in the United Nations, the good old days when we have overseas development assistance are almost over. Humanitarian financing is also shifting. It is going to Nigeria, must begin to because of the development imperatives. As we are today, we just came back from New York a couple of weeks ago, where we were talking about the Sustainable Development Goals and the Pact for the Future. As we stand now, with only 12% of the SDGs are on track. 50% are neither here nor there, and the rest of them are stagnating. In other words, for a country like this that is the largest in the continent and the anchor of Africa, we must be able to make the shift when it comes to the development agenda. That is why it matters. And the third reason why it matters is because of the need for economic competitiveness. Africa is still playing catching up in many ways, and we need to be able to move the needle on development. And finally, why does it matter? It matters because we are in times of crisis and uncertainties. Today is climate change, tomorrow is war, it is COVID. For us to be able to be resilient to crisis and shocks, we need to find solutions, and that's why we are here trying to wrap up. What does Anambra have to do? What are the enabling conditions to make this place the space to come to invest? And I know I'm preaching to the this year. It will call for a lot of regional partnerships and building regional value chains. What is the partnership between Anambra and the issues and Niger is producing for Lagos? What can Anambra do with other partners? But beyond looking within, what about external partnerships where you produce parts here and they produce parts there, and we leverage the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, for example? That will become key, especially with also states like Abia, which are next to you. The other thing is the infrastructure development. It's going to be very important. Energy question. There is no way. And therefore, Anambra needs to keep an eye on investing in some of these spaces. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is around streamlining business regulations. Again, I'm preaching to the converted, and I'm just saying that very briefly. Thirdly, human capital development, by investing in young people especially. And yesterday, I was delighted, Excellency, that we could break grounds for the new makerspace here in Anambra, where we can have spaces where young people, young Anambrans, young people in the region can come to building private-public partnerships. We have inspiration from a number of countries that Anambra can draw from. Rwanda is one of those areas where they have pushed quite a bit on the business environment reforms. Again, we can share some more documentation on that in the interest of time. Ethiopia's strategy around industrial parks is something that we can draw inspiration upon. Morocco's renewable, and I should say that whilst we are very humble as development agencies, Singapore today, and part of the reasons where they are today is that UNDP's economists and policy analysts sat with them and to dream the Singapore of the future, and that's why we see some of the progress today. And we see so many of these things in the world today that we can draw inspiration from. So I just want to conclude, Excellency, the development agenda of Anambra, and I always say that when Nigeria succeeds, the rest of the continent would succeed. And from where we sit, we pledge our commitment to you. We pledge our support to the people of Anambra. And I've seen all the inspiration yesterday with a lot of young people who are really yearning to push forward. And again, to say that we also would partner with the business community. And I was sitting next to Dr. Maduka there, telling him that we are coming with him and we want to be able to mobilize all those business partners to be able to push that agenda forward. So let me conclude by thanking you once again for inviting us, and I wish us all very fruitful deliberations. Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Can you sustain the applause? Give them more round of applause. That has been the daughter of Africa, a woman of immense character, the country director, UNDP, yes, Rep. Miss is on the right track with Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, CFR. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to listen to the CEO of Fidelity Bank PLC, Mrs. Nneka Onyalipe, but ably represented here by Pamela. Please put your hands together for her as she comes forward, to just 2 minutes. We are craving your indulgence, ma'am.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, CFR, the Deputy Governor of Anambra State, Dr. Onyeka Ibezem, Your Excellency, please permit me to stand on existing protocols. I'll be taking the goodwill message on behalf of our dear MD, Dr. Nneka Onyalipe. I'll start. I would like to commend His Excellency to creating a prosperous and economically resilient Anambra. His leadership has fostered an environment where businesses can thrive and investors can harness several opportunities that now abound within the state. I would like to recognize the Anambra State Investment Promotion and Protection Agency, ANSIPA, for its exceptional work in promoting investment, facilitating business activities, and creating a welcoming environment for investors and businesses alike. It is indeed a great honor to participate in this gathering of innovators, leaders, and investors. Part of the summit since its inception in issues that range from slow economic growth, fluctuating commodity prices, and limited tax revenues to rising public debt remain the core challenge of economies all over the world. It is this dilemma that makes platforms such as this both timely and critical in ensuring the long-term development of the state and curbing the rising pressure on state finances. At Fidelity Bank, we view these challenges as opportunities to champion partnerships that will define the economic landscape in Anambra and beyond. This year's theme, Changing Gears, Accelerating Anambra's Economic Transformation, speaks directly to Fidelity Bank's mission of helping individuals grow, inspiring businesses to thrive, and empowering economies to prosper. Anambra State's potential is boundless, and with the strategies and partnerships emanating from this summit, we can achieve extraordinary outcomes. We wish to reaffirm our commitment to supporting Anambra State's economic growth and transformation as we encourage all participants to seize the opportunities presented by this summit to forge meaningful partnerships, explore innovative solutions, and commit to long-term strategies that will accelerate Anambra's economic transformation. Together, we can build an Anambra that not only meets today's needs, but also anticipates tomorrow's opportunities and take action today to meet it. We thank God for Anambra State, and we always wish Anambra State the best. Fidelity Bank. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We know Fidelity Bank always say they keep their word, so we hope you continue to keep your word as you have always supported Anambra State in our drive to change gears. Ladies and gentlemen, Anambra, to give her, how many minutes did you give her? You told her to. We'll forgive her because they are very good friends of Anambra and they have supported us over the years. But there is who is the Group Managing Director of Strategy
at the Africa Import-Export Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I welcome on stage Mr. Samuel Uzoigwe. A big round of applause for him, please. These are also some of our very huge supporters who have always been here with us at the Anambra Investment Summit and our drive for investment in Anambra State. Your hands together for him, please.
Let me stand. On behalf of President Benedict Oroma, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors of Afrexim Bank, I would like to thank the Governor and the MD CEO of ANSIPA for extending the invitation to Afrexim Bank on such an important event. President Oroma himself wished to be here, but regretfully was unable to do so due to prior commitments. It's a great pleasure and honor for me and my colleagues who are part of this delegation representing the President to be here with you at the second edition of Anambra State's Investment Summit in the beautiful city of Awka. It's a profound honor to address you today at this important summit. We are here at a critical juncture for the state and indeed for Nigeria as a whole, as we work to change gears and accelerate economic transformation of this vibrant state. I commend the vision and commitment of Anambra State in organizing this summit, which brings together key stakeholders to the ambitious goals outlined by the Governor and his administration. This event holds significant promise, as we know that industrialization remains a pivotal engine for economic growth, job creation, and sustainable development. Today, I would like to discuss three key areas with you. One, Anambra State's development potential and competitive advantages. To understand the state's potential, we must start by recognizing the unique attributes that make it one of the most economically vibrant regions. Situated in the heart of the southeastern Nigeria, Anambra State benefits from both a strategic geographic location and a well-connected transport network, linking it to the major economic hubs like Enugu, Port Harcourt, Abuja, and Lagos, one of the West Africa's largest commercial cities. This locational advantage presents a foundation upon which we can build a thriving, diversified economy capable of both domestic and international reach. The Onitsha market, one of the largest in West Africa, serves as a critical commercial hub for wholesale and retail trade, with goods flowing in and out of the region. This market is an important center for commerce, especially in consumer goods, electronics, and others. Anambra State is also home to several significant cultural and historical sites. Some come to mind: the Inri Kingdom, Obunike Caves. These attractions, coupled with the state's festivals and rich cultural heritage, positions Anambra State as a growing tourism destination. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Anambra's population at over 8 million people is young, entrepreneurial, and ambitious. In Nigeria, over 65% of the population is under the age of 35, and Anambra reflects this demographic structure. These young citizens are not only the future workforce, but also potential innovators and leaders of industries. With the right skills and infrastructure, this demographic can become a powerful driver of economic growth, supporting Nigeria's target of creating 25 million new jobs by 2030. Moreover, Anambra boasts of over $12.5 billion in GDP, driven primarily from trade, services, and manufacturing. With this solid economic foundation and fundamental, the state has a great potential to scale up its industrial sector. Yet, despite these challenges, Anambra's contribution to Nigeria's manufacturing sector has not reached its potential. Nationwide, manufacturing accounts for about 9% of Nigeria's GDP, compared to 30% in middle-income countries like South Africa. For Anambra State to achieve similar levels, we need focused investment in industrial infrastructure, skills development, and access to financing. This is where Afrexim Bank partnership with Anambra State comes in. We play a critical role. We are committed to providing project preparation and advisory services that will not only strengthen Anambra's industrial base, but also enhance its capacity to attract international investors. The second point I want to raise is the transformational impact of Anambra State's mixed-use industrial city. At the heart of the ambitious development blueprint is the Anambra Mixed-Use Industrial City, a transformational initiative including manufacturing, logistics, retail services, and construction, with opportunities for skills development in Africa. Afrexim Bank is cognizant that most economies with the fastest growing exports have well-developed special economic zones program, which have led to employment creation. The SEZ also helped to structurally transform economies away from informalities, promoting industrialization and exporting the growth of intra-African trade and investment. We actively support and collaborate with our partner to share knowledge and expertise. Through our Fund for Export Development in Africa, FEDA, we have invested significantly in ARISE Integrated Industrial Platform, ARISE IIP, one of Africa's leading developers and operators of industrial parks. Building on these experiences, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we offer 4 strategic recommendations. 1 is phased development and sector prioritization. An incremental approach to industrial city development allows for efficient allocation of resources and a focus on sectors where Anambra State holds comparative advantages, such as agro-processing, textiles, etc. Number 2 is infrastructure development. Efficient logistic hubs are crucial for the seamless movement of goods and services. A reliable transport network that connects the industrial city to key markets, both locally and international. Access to a stable and affordable power supply through a mix of renewable energy and traditional sources. The third is human capital development. Industrial parks are most successful when they are supported by skilled workforce. To ensure Anambra's industrial city is competitive, we recommend forming partnership with educational institutions to establish technical working programs in fields like engineering, logistics, and manufacturing. The fourth and the last in the recommendation we are making is efficient governance and investment incentives. Effective management and governance structures are critical to the success of industrial parks. This includes setting up an autonomous management body for the park to handle creation. Way forward. Your Excellency, the Governor, please allow me to bring some positive prospects. With the bank's support, we have supported the government of Anambra State and ARISE to execute an MOU to facilitate development of 10,000 hectares Anambra Mixed-Use Industrial Park. This project is at development phase. And the ARISE team is working with the state government to finalize the feasibility study the technical designs, and the master plan before the end of first quarter 2025. Thereafter, the two parties will jointly establish a project special purpose vehicle, finalize land titles transfer, and execute a concession agreement to facilitate construction commencement before the third quarter 2025. Be assured that Afreximbank will ensure that all required advisory services, financing intervention to actualize this vision is provided to the states as well as to Arise. Remains committed to supporting Anambra in this transformative journey, not only through project preparation and financing, but also by leveraging our deep knowledge of Africa and Africa's industrial sector. We believe in Anambra's potential to become a beacon of industrial success in Nigeria, and we are ready to partner with the state government and stakeholders in realizing this vision. Let us move forward together, confidently and boldly towards the prosperous future that lies ahead for Anambra State. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Professor Benedict Orama, please permit me to once again thank the leadership of Anambra State, the Governor himself, and the Honorable Mark Okoye, the MD CEO of ANSIPA, for the opportunity to address you today. I thank you immensely for your kind attention. Thank you very much.
More round of applause for him. That has been Emeka Uzoigwe, the Group Managing Director, Strategy and Product Development at Afreximbank.
With a very short speech.
Yes, the speech was very short. But want to crave your indulgence, please. The next person that will be speaking to us, want to beg you, if you have a speech written, can you please just summarize and make it very short so that others can talk. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have the honor and privilege of inviting to speak to us the Director General of African Development Bank, Dr. Abdul Kamara. Please put your hands together for him as he comes forward for a 2-minute presentation, please. I see that the young man is sharp. He's going to make it 2 minutes. Yes, I can see that he's poised to summarize and make it 2 minutes so that we can conclude and leave this place on time. Put your hands together for
Chukwuma Soludo, Executive Governor of Katsina State, of Anambra State. I'm very sorry. Of Anambra State, distinguished ministers, commissioners, and other federal and state government officials, His Excellency Isaac King, High Commissioner of the Government of Kenya to the Federal Government of Ethiopia. Colleagues, thank you for inviting the African Development Bank to be part of this august occasion. Truly honored to extend greetings to you from the African Development Bank President, President Adesina, who could not make it to be here, but also to the Vice President, Madam Nina Nwabufo, who was also personally invited and could not make it to be here. Clearly, we are at a stage where the continent needs to transform, and this summit by Anambra State, changing gears, accelerating Anambra's economic transformation, is very consistent with the African Development Bank's vision for the economic transformation and development of the continent. We know the continent is very young, and I think previous speakers have already alluded to this. But the second thing that we also know is the continent is the last frontier. Why do we say the last frontier? We have over 65% of the world's unutilized agricultural potential. And we also know that we have the AFCFTA. So the timing could never be better for us to increase productivity, to raise production levels,
and to add value to everything that we produce to ensure that we raise exports and generate income and jobs for our people. The days for executive reliance on unprocessed raw materials definitely are gone, be it crude, natural gas, and so on. Those days are gone. We must now boost productivity, especially agricultural commodities, and add value to ensure that we create wealth for our continent, our country, but also specifically for this state. The African Development Bank stands very strongly with you. The transformation that is needed to accelerate growth and create wealth for Anambra State will require an enabling business environment. Of course, we are not preaching to the choir. We already see that you already are advanced in this journey. But as previous colleagues said, let us emphasize public expenditure in infrastructure, but also targeted policies, as well as creating the environment for attracting private investment. Key bottlenecks, and I was really very pleased to see the video. Very impressive. Congratulations to our governor. Let's give it a big round of applause because this was really an eye-opener. I see that the governor is tackling head-on bottlenecks to electricity, transport, logistics, business development, skills, industry, affordable finance. We saw all of them. They are happening right here in Anambra. Congratulations, Honorable Governor. The concept of Anambra mixed-use industrial city with specialized zones, including a zone for special agro-industrial processing, is very much in sync with the imperatives for industrialization and that of the African Development Bank. The initiative from the African Development Bank's perspective, as you know, Honorable Governor, can be supported both from the private sector window, but also from the public sector window. Your Excellencies, let me just highlight a few areas where the bank is currently involved, but also where we are interacting with the Anambra State government. The bank currently has an active portfolio, of course, of 52 operations in the country of about $4.7 million. But very specifically, Anambra State is benefiting from one of our projects called Agriculture Transformation Agenda Program Phase 1, which is implemented in 7 states, including this state, and is developing some 4,000 hectares of irrigable land in Omo, right in this state here, and has supported thousands of farmers and farm technology and input production for high-yielding cassava and rice varieties. These are key for developing our agricultural value chain. The second investment is in the digital and creative enterprises, which is a $618 million investment that is seeking to promote youth-owned and youth-led high-tech creative enterprises across the country, including Anambra. The IDA seeks to attract direct investments for more than 200 technology and creative startups across this country. And finally, we have also just recently approved the Nigeria Youth Entrepreneurship Investment Bank. Of course, we have spoken of several constraints, but access to finance was key for micro, small, and medium enterprises. So we have approved $100 million for the Youth Entrepreneurship Investment Bank for this country to create a holistic combination of tailor-made patient capital and non-financial services that will enable the youth, but also women, to have consistent access to finance to grow their businesses. And finally, Your Excellency, the most special agro-industry zone program, I'm sure we have all heard of this. It is implemented currently in 7 states and the federal capital. We are currently in Imo State, we are currently in Oyo State, in Ogun State, in Kaduna, and in Kwara, as well as in the federal capital area. Again, this is an approach that is really seeking to position production, processing, value addition, and linkage to markets, all concentrated in a zone such as what we are seeing in Anambra today,
And Anambra actually already has the fundamentals. I had a team that was here a few weeks ago, and let me take the opportunity to thank the Honorable Governor once again for the quality of the interactions and the conversations, but also the information that was provided, for which I'm proudly announcing here that Anambra State will be a beneficiary to the second cohort of states that we are taking on board for the special agro-industry processing goal. Once again, thank you very much for inviting the African Development Bank to be part of this process, and I'm very sorry for the slip of tongue at the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And thank you very much, the Africa Development Bank, for all you continue to do. I love when speakers come here and tell us exactly what they are doing for Anambra State. Thanks also to our Afrexim Bank for all you're doing with the 10,000 hectares of land that you're developing for the mixed-use zone. Your hands together for our speakers so far, ladies and gentlemen. Anambra Gadimma. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call on our next speaker, the Executive Secretary, National Land Development Agency. Please join me as I welcome on stage Cornelius Adebayo. Your hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. No pressure. If you want to tell us how much you are doing for Anambra, no pressure from the other speakers. Your hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, ably represented by the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Budget, Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Regional Development, I stand on all existing protocol. Well, I have a speech prepared, but we have limited time, so I would summarize. We at NALDA, and I'll correct the MC, it's National Agricultural Land Development Authority. So I wouldn't want people to ask me for land for their property later. Today marks a significant milestone in our journey towards transformative agricultural development. As we gather for the second edition of the Anambra State Investment Summit, I am honored to share NALDA's vision for empowering sustainable growth and fostering economic prosperity. The National Agricultural Land Development Authority's intervention strategy focuses on comprehensive agricultural development. We prioritize land clearing and development. Recognizing the importance of accessible land for farming, our programs also provide input and infrastructure support, linkage to financing partners, and also provide mechanization to enhance agricultural productivity. The Anambra Mixed-Use Industrial City project with the SAPZ and the ATC project all intertwined embodies our commitment to agricultural industrialization. This flagship project will create jobs, attract investments, and enhance food security through improved processing and distribution. NALDA is committed to promoting agricultural growth, empowering sustainable development, and fostering economic prosperity. And we are ready to partner with Anambra State on this project. In Anambra State, agriculture accounts for a substantial share of the GDP, approximately 23%. Our partnership with the state government aims to revolutionize the agricultural sector by focusing on primary production as well as value addition. This collaborative effort will concentrate on cultivating key crops of comparative advantage such as oil palm, rice, citrus fruit, maize, cassava, which are already thriving in the state. To achieve this goal, we will partner in the establishment of agro-parks and these keys into the ATC that AFDB is talking about, so we can provide source for the factories that would be in the industrial zone. NALDA, under my leadership and under the guidance of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is pioneering a unique approach to agricultural development, one that harmoniously blends modern farming techniques with community engagement and empowerment. We are very critical to rural development because we believe in the use of agriculture to stimulate our rural communities. This innovative strategy prioritizes the needs of our local farmers, fostering a collaborative environment where expertise and resources are shared to maximize yield and profitability. We encourage active participation from stakeholders, ensuring that decisions are informed by diverse perspectives and expertise. We are honored to partner with the state government under the leadership of His Excellency Professor Charles Soludo, a renowned economist and visionary leader who has boldly outlined his agenda for Anambra State's transformation. His commitment to agricultural development is truly inspiring, and we commend his effort to make Anambra State a hub for industrial, technology, and social activities. The governor's vision for a livable and prosperous homeland aligns perfectly with our goals at NALDA, and we're excited to collaborate with his administration to drive agricultural growth and empowerment in the state. I stand here to say that on behalf of NALDA, we will be partnering with Anambra State to improve production of agricultural produce and open up more land for our rural dwellers to have where to work and produce in a safe, clusterized area. Thank you for having me this morning, Douglas.
Please, a round of applause for him. Round of applause for him. Yes, Cornelius O. Adebayo, the Executive Secretary of National Land Development Agency. Thank you for the partnership that you're bringing to Anambra State. Now, at this juncture, without wasting time, may I invite the National Automotive Design Development Council, led by Mr. Oluwemimo Osanipin, to give us just a very short presentation. Put your hands together for him as he comes forward. We're still craving your indulgence to make it 2 minutes so that we can allow others to also speak on this auspicious occasion. Thank you.
His Excellency, Professor Shukuma Soludo, CFR, please permit me to stand on the established protocol. We of NADDC, we identify Anambra as a partner that we have to work with. When I came in, the first city I visited was Nnewi, and it's for strategic reasons. Nnewi happened to be a city that has a lot of clusters, especially auto clusters. And we have identified that this city alone can make us achieve part of our mandate. We have mandate to ensure that we promote local components because we want auto local components to be manufactured in Nigeria. We don't want to be manufacturing vehicle alone. We want to be manufacturing the components. And when we have the opportunities of bringing down to Nigeria the vehicle manufacturers from Africa, South Africa, Morocco, Algeria, Ghana, one of the places we visited, in fact, the city where we have identified those components that Anambra State can produce. And we are working with existing component manufacturers to ensure one thing, that they have the capacity to produce them. And with the capacity, we are going to use the deletion policy to encourage them in order to ensure that those components are no longer imported because we have what it takes to produce them in Anambra. And we thank God that we have able partners led by our own Mr. Solution. And again, I have to thank the ASPA MD, who has worked with us on development of our own industrial park. And we are also working with him. He has invited us to come and take a portion in the Anambra industrial park that has been built. That is Anambra, in developing especially the auto component and auto park, that auto component section of the main city. Again, we are already discussing with some of our financial partners to assist the identified people with notice in Nnewi assets, because these are the areas we can easily scale up. We have met young guys that have only two staff and they are manufacturing some items. We have met people that come together, maybe two staff we manufacture one part, another we manufacture another part, and we have seen them collaborating and bring everything together to form, especially we have this blade in a vehicle. So we have them, all of them will come together and they manufacture this by producing different parts. So we identify, if we are going to work with them, be able to provide some financial assistance, we will be able to scale up quickly. Because with two staff, you can easily increase it to 6. And then the percentage of scaling is going to be enormous. We are happy that Anambra is taking this step and we want to work with you. Again, we have to thank the Mr. Governor for patronizing our auto people. We have here in Anambra State 2 leading auto manufacturers. We have Innocent and we have Kojo that manufacture the Oma buses. We thank you for patronizing them, and we want you to do more, because we want them to expand and we want them to grow further. Again, when I saw the theme of this year's summit, what came to my mind is that Mark Okoye and his team is thinking about auto. Because when you are changing gear, you are talking about auto. When you are accelerating, you are talking about auto. And when you are transforming, you know auto is transforming. Thank you.
That's a very powerful way to end it. Big round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. And Mr. Oshanikmi, I hope you are moving to Nnewi. You can't be with the National Automotive Design and not be in Nnewi. That's where it's all done. And we're very proud of all the good things that our manufacturers and automotive designers in Anambra State are doing. Your hands together for them, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very key part of our state's economy and our ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on now as I welcome our next speaker, the representative of the Global Vice President, Arise Industrial Integrated Platforms. She's the head of stakeholder engagement, ladies and gentlemen. Ms. Feintola Odunlaja is here with us. I'll put our hands together for her, ladies and gentlemen.
Your Excellencies, the Executive Governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo, CFR. Please allow me to stand on existing protocols. I bring the greetings today of the Vice President of Arise, IIP, Suren Aberwikaman, who would have loved to be here today, but is unavoidably absent. It's with the Anambra State Investment Summit I love the analogy just used by the last speaker in terms of changing gears. For Arise, just a short word, I'm mindful of our time. Arise is an established partner for economic transformation. It's one of our bywords across Africa. And with that in mind, and looking again at the summit theme, we dovetail perfectly with perfect synergy with this investment summit and the economic growth focus for Anambra State. At Arise, we work very closely with government partnerships. We forge those partnerships, which enables us to execute large-scale projects and transform, or that can transform, local value chains and also support industrialization in countries in a very environmentally sustainable way. We currently have 13 zones in Africa under management. Here alone just mention a few. So we're not new to this. Nations, or in this case in Nigeria and in Anambra State. Our very unique USP is, and our vision is that which enable sustainable local transformation of raw materials that go on to boost export and also promote import competitiveness. Again, these are themes that previous goodwill messages have spoken to. And our colleague from AfriExim has stolen a little bit of my thunder, but yes, we are, as a RISE IIP, very excited to be partnering with Anambra State. And we're also pleased that jointly with AfriExim, who are one of our shareholders, together with AFC, we are engaging with the state to facilitate the development as the AFDB SAPZ. So this large-scale industrial project, which is being and conceived to be developed as a live, work, play concept, will again, we've spoken to it, it will create jobs. We're looking to transform the industrial landscape and change the story of raw material processing, not just in Anambra, but how we can change that. Your Excellency, together with the good people of Anambra State and all distinguished guests, a very successful investment summit. Thank you.
Please, a round of applause for. Yes, thank you very much, Ma. Mr. Governor, may I crave your indulgence and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen that are here, to let you know that His Excellency by Dr. Emeka Vitalis, OBMNI, Permanent Secretary, yes, the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, a time will come when we will listen to the President. At this juncture, I want to speak to us a man who is an orator, a mover and shaker of the people. Ladies and gentlemen, Charis Group, an extraordinary Nigerian, Ezigbo Anambra. Please put your hands together for this giant of a man.
This is the Executive Governor of Anambra State, and I stand on existing protocol. It's really a great honor and real privilege for me to be here as son of the state. And I want to say that everything we require to be a great state is available in this state. All we are asking is the enabling environment. As an entrepreneur and a capitalist, it's clear to me that investment capital has no face. It goes wherever it's received. When we create the right environment, we will attract investment to the state. And I think a lot of people are surprised about the good works our governor is doing in the state. But frankly speaking, I'm not surprised because it's exactly what I expect him to do. He understands what it is. He understands what is required. So he's taking the bull by his horn and addressing the key issue that will be catalyst for investment capital to come into this state. As I was discussing with my sister down there, that 30 years ago or 40 years ago, I went to Ghana. I didn't go to Ghana because anybody, invited me to Ghana to come and buy a gold field. By the time I arrived Ghana in the morning, drive around, looking at ricketing vehicles, see them. Morning, the guy came, let us go to the field. I said, no, I'm going back to Nigeria. He said, what happened? What's the problem? I said, I find another gold field, something I'm very familiar with, an opportunity, the area of my core competence. and we moved into Ghana about almost 30 years ago and have done business. Today we are located in all the regions of Ghana and here in Anambra State back home. And in the last 30 years, we've been acquiring a property and was able to get up to 3,000 hectares of land. In 2015, when a former governor called for a meeting like this, and he shared his 7 pillars of economic pillar to be able to turn the economy of Anambra, and agriculture was one of them. I take me as a captive market. He said, no, that will not happen. And before you know it, the whole community we are talked to. And we today in the same ANAC and move it into the market. And today we've been able to build ag growers over 5,000 communities. There is opportunity in our state. Like I said, everything that is required is available. All I will ask our governor to do is to still have a smaller meeting where we can get key Anambrans. Today, I came with one of ours who had built a factory in Sokoto, built one in Lagos. I wanted to build the third one. I said, no, we're going to Anambra. You have 44 billion available to you to invest. Let's go. I'm going to talk to the governor. You say certificate of occupancy is the problem. I will get it signed 24 hours. And he's here, sitting here, a young man here. Because there's some of them we have built who has the capacity. We can transform this state and make it great. God bless you.
I told you at the start he's one of my favorite speakers. No scripts, great storyteller. If we give him 1 hour, he will still be here. Your hands together for him once again. Thank you very much, sir, for all you continue to do and bringing the money back home to Anambra State. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call on our next speaker. He's one of those people who you just hear the name, you don't even need to know anything else. You just hear the name and you recognize him. A very, very proud son of Anambra State, an industrialist, a great entrepreneur who continues to make not just Anambra, but Nigeria and Africa proud. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Emeka Ofo. Keep the hands going as he makes his way, please. Come on.
Excellency, the Governor of Anambra State, I am requesting that I will stand on the existing protocol as has been established for want of time. Well, I wasn't looking forward to be called, but the most important thing is that I am from Anambra State, and then I'm sure that every Anambrian is seeing the difference. Myself in particular, I'm a witness. I was talking with my brother, Cosmas, Chief Cosmas, mother, are all gone. And investment, development, that Anambra State is moving forward. That if there are areas that we are having doubts, that the present governor has plugged them, because he's not a magician. What he has done is to plug all areas of loophole and wastages. And they have done savings, and then tighten the belts. And what we are seeing is that people are now beginning to have confidence in the state. And with that confidence that is coming back to Anambra State, we will see development. I am here as an industrialist. We are asking that all support that we are needed will be given by creating the enabling environment, which I know that the governor is not unfamiliar with. The governor, and we continue to do our best. It's not easy. It's not easy because there are laws that are needed. If these laws are put in place, the legislative area arm of the government, that is the House of Assembly, will help us to make sure they are not distorted. We will be able to continue to provide our own services and continue to support Anambra State. Thank you.
A round of applause for Sir E. Put your hands together for him. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is fast spent. So may I have the honor and privilege of inviting the Honorable Minister, Regional Development, Abubakar Momo, to come and give us his short talk, please. Put your hands together for him. Yes, Anambra is indeed changing gears, accelerating Anambra's economic transformation. And the minister is here to speak to us. Honorable Minister, please.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, let me also recognize the presence of His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Anambra State, Mr. Ikechukwu Ibezi. Let me also recognize the presence of the representative of Mr. President. Of course, we didn't quite know much earlier that the representative is here, but I'm glad to hear that he's here to represent the Minister of Budget, who of course ought to be here along with me. So the Permanent Secretary representing the President, we are also welcome. Let me also welcome and recognize the presence of a number of persons here that I may not be able to mention their names because we have quite a number of them, captain of industry, businessmen, and we have listened attentively to all your comments. I believe for us in government, we are to collect your views. At the end of the day, it's expected that what is being discussed in this very summit will be translated to reality. For me, it is an honor to stand before you today at this pivotal second edition of State Investment Summit of Anambra State Government, marking a significant milestone in Anambra's journey towards economic excellence. As we converge here today, we have to acknowledge the rich culture of Anambra State in terms of economic, robust and resilient antecedents of good people of Anambra State. Permit me at this juncture to draw your attention to the strategic location of Anambra State and the entrepreneurial drive of the people, which have been known over the years, which of course is second to none in this country. Needless to say that these attributes position the state for an unparalleled economic growth and development among the community of states in this country. I'm particularly pleased with the theme, changing gears, accelerating economic transformation, because it embodies a commitment to propelling the state for economic transformation. It also recognizes the urgency of looking beyond traditional sectors by harnessing technology and creativity, enhancing connectivity and accessibility, and the strengthening empowerment of human capital, which is the greatest asset of any people. The theme also resonates with the mandate of my ministry, which is the Ministry of Regional Development. And I want to say here that my ministry is relatively young, just about 3 weeks old. Before now, I had the responsibility to oversee the Niger Delta Affairs Ministry, which has been renamed Ministry of Regional Development because of the vision of our President
that I'm here today because Southeast is part of the region. That is, Anambra is part of the Southeast Development Commission, which of course is under the purview of the Ministry of Regional Development. And this being my second assignment outside Abuja, since the change of nomenclature, I decided to be here today is part of all other commitments that have been saddled with back in Abuja. And I feel that it's an opportunity for me to also know those that I will be talking with in a very short time. And I have no doubt in mind that in a very short time, by the time that the Commission take off properly, particularly the Southeast Development Commission, of which Anambra State is part, there is no doubt that there is going to be a synergy, collaborative synergy between the Commission and the Anambra State government. And that will help to transform the state in terms of mega projects and all you can think of. The theme, like I said, is in consonance with the mandate of my ministry. And like you know, I said it was formerly Ministry of Niger Delta and now Ministry of Regional Development. And for now, the regional development are four. We are expecting more in a very short time. And they include the Niger Delta Development Commission, the Southeast Development Commission, Northeast Development Commission, and the Northwest Development Commission. And we are here in Anambra State, which is part of Southeast Development Commission. This recent change in nomenclature is aimed at streamlining regional development efforts, promoting economic growth, and coordination across Nigeria's diverse regions. As a result of this broader scope, the scope of the ministry now includes regional economic growth, fostering economic development in Nigeria's region. And here today, we are discussing economic investment of Anambra State. I have no doubt as well that by the time the Commission, Southeast Commission takes off fully, they will be fully involved to partner with the state government in order to bring more development to the people of Anambra State. Infrastructure development, enhancing connectivity and accessibility, human capital empowerment, developing skills and capacities, strategic partnerships, collaborating with stakeholders for sustainable growth. The realization of the regional development mandate is contingent upon the collective efforts of key stakeholders and policy drivers across various regions. To actualize the government's vision, strategic collaboration is imperative. Aligning regional development agenda is vital to fostering economic growth, transformation, enhancing quality of life for Nigerians. Through collaborative efforts, Nigeria can accelerate regional development, increase economic opportunities, improve livelihoods, enhance national competitiveness. Like I said, by the time the commissions take off fully, definitely there's going to be competition. And I've no doubt, too, that the Southeast Development Commission, by the mandate given to it, will excel and perhaps will be the model by which, of course, all the other commissions can be asked to copy from. Because I know what it is, the economic fortune and everything that is available in this Southeast region. The Commission will, of course, tap into it and make meaningful progress in developing this place. By embracing partnership and cooperation, such as advocated by this summit, we can unlock Nigeria's regional potentials and achieve sustainable development. It is therefore imperative to note that Anambra State offers the following key enablers to economic growth and development. One is strategic location. It's like Anambra State is a gateway to all other states in the Southeast region and other regions of Nigeria. Two, it is business-friendly environment. I think I heard one mention today that the two major auto factories in this country are located in Anambra. I think it's a positive development, and by the way, in auto industry, so there will be a thing of the past. The third one is strategic partnership opportunities. Fourth, competitive incentive drives. And fourth, skilled workforce. Of course, we know what the people of Inewi and all other parts of the Southeast are known for. They are very skillful, and we tap on that by the time the commission starts operation in order to ensure meaningful development. Strategic trade by impact. This we can achieve through collaborating with the states to showcase investment opportunities in key sectors such as power, oil and gas, technology, digital, empowering human capital through education, training, and skills development programs, aligning with the state's vision for economic transformation. 3, facilitating partnerships between investors, government agencies, and local stakeholders to drive economic growth and development. Conclusively, let me say that I wish to urge everyone to shift gears towards accelerating Anambra's economic transformation. Let us embrace this movement, seize opportunities to form significant partnerships with a bid to transforming Anambra State into a vibrant economic hub. And in order to achieve this, I think there's only one thing that is left for the state government to do, is to ensure that the security of life and properties of this place is guaranteed. The moment you have adequate security in Anambra State and other parts of the Southeast region, development of this area, of course, is guaranteed because of what is already on ground. Once again, I have to thank you for inviting me to be here, and also to thank the governor because I'm watching from afar. And from what I saw in the documentary today, there's no doubt that a lot have taken place in this very state, of which they are not properly made known to the public. I think you have to blow your top right, because if people outside Anambra don't know what you are doing, they will not be able to assess you. I'm sure with what you have produced here this money, if it is played on the national network, people will know that yes, Anambra State is working. Once again, I have to thank you and say God bless you for organizing this summit.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that. A round of applause for him again. Thank you very much.
Just very quickly want to recognize our traditional leaders over there. I'll put our hands together for our real fathers, ladies and gentlemen. Very quickly now, moving on to our next. We like to have a bit of a sibling rivalry with Kenya. They might run faster than us long distance, but we beat them in football, please.
Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, the Honorable Minister for Regional Development, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, the County Director of the UNDP, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, in the interest of time, allow me to stand on the existing protocol. I'm truly honored to be here in Anambra, a region that has remarkable vision and progress in creating opportunities for sustainable growth, trade, and development. I would like to sincerely thank you, Your Excellency, the governor and the people of Anambra for your kind invitation to this important summit that seeks to foster local and international economic partnership and collaboration for mutual prosperity. I'm also grateful for a warm welcome and great hospitality since my arrival. Many of my Kenyan compatriots have strong connections with Anambra State and generally the southeast region of Nigeria. Many of them begin to interact with Anambra State in their formative stages of life through renowned authors from this region whose incredible works have been a staple in high school and university literature set books in Kenya and the rest of East Africa for decades. Most of us, and for the young transition right, among many other famous sons and daughters of this region. Most Kenyans will therefore have heard about the market of Onitsha, which I saw a very beautiful display here, long before they ever set their feet in Anambra or Nigeria. As I bring warm greetings from the people of Kenya, I share in the excitement of building robust economic bridges between our two countries, which share a long-standing history of solidarity as well as cultural and economic ties. I am glad that this summit serves as a classic example of how we as African nations can harness our strength for shared prosperity. I would like to commend you, Your Excellencies, Your Excellencies' judicious leadership and great achievements made so far during your tenure. The theme of this summit, Changing Gears, Accelerating Anambra's Economic Transformation, speaks to what African leadership should really be about, the transformation of lives of our people by fostering inclusive economic growth. I'm glad to note that your vision, what your bottom-up economic transformation agenda, in key areas which include agriculture, micro, small, and medium enterprise economy, housing and settlement, healthcare, digital superhighway, and creative economy, and of course, tourism. There's great opportunity for collaboration some of the strategies on how we can jointly pursue these opportunities. The African Continental Free Trade Agreement has already presented our two countries with an opportunity to remove trade barriers and facilitate free movement of our people. Requirement for all African Commission you only call when you have entrepreneurs, investors, and government agencies under the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement framework will ultimately position to congratulate you on holding of this second edition of Anambra Investment Summit. I look forward to having more focused discussion with various stakeholders on how, as a country, we can take advantage of the various opportunities, especially the Anambra mixed-use industrial city project, and what lessons can be shared between Kenya and Anambra for the mutual benefit of our people. I wish I could stay here longer and enjoy the beautiful heritage of this land. But I'm convinced that with the excellent and cordial relationship between our two countries, cultivated over many years, I'll be returning to Anambra many, many times. When I arrived yesterday, Your Excellency, the person who was receiving me, and of course, the CEO of this agency which is organizing this forum today, I think they look like me. We look alike. And I've just discovered that maybe I came from here and landed in Kenya. So I want to call myself one of you. So I belong here and I'll become.
Thank you. No. He said Asante Sana, and I'm saying no to you. Ladies and gentlemen, politicians think of the next election, but statesmen think about the next generation. And that's Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, CFR, thinking about the future, preparing for the future, laying the foundations for the future. That is the man who has seen tomorrow. And he says that the best now Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands. CFR, Mr. Solution. Call him Mr. Solution.
Yeah, please. Where do I begin? Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of the state, the Speaker, Your Excellency, the Kenyan High Commissioner, Your Excellency, the Resident Rep of the UNDP, and all Excellencies here, our captains of industry, representatives of various, the Honorable Minister, and His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, here ably represented. I'm going to call you up, Dr. Vitalis Emeka Obi, very shortly. And then Ndi Igwe no, Ekenemo no, Ndi Igwe Ekenemo no, none. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you can see I don't have any speech to read, because I think everything that needs to be said has been said. Mine is to do 2, 3 quick things. Number one is to join Mark Okoye, the Managing Director of ANSIPA, and all the organizers of this particular event in welcoming all of you to Anambra State, the light of the nation. So I want to join and say a big welcome to all of you. And welcome also to the 2024 Anambra Investment Summit, whose theme is changing gears, accelerating Anambra's economic transformation. So, the first task is done. Welcome, and we appreciate all of you. We appreciate the sacrifices that you made to be here, the logistics arrangements, which we are trying to now fix. And hopefully, by the next investment summit, those of you who had to fly in through other airports other than Anambra because of the flight schedules for Wednesdays and so on, by the next time you come, we're very confident, definitely, all those logistics challenges would have been taken care of. So I thank all of you for the sacrifice that you made to be here, despite the inconveniences. And the second, also in the line of appreciation for this particular conference, is celebrating strategic partnerships for Anambra's transformation. As you can see from the array of speakers who have spoken to us today, each speaker brings something to the table for Anambra State. The people who have spoken, and there are dozens more, if not hundreds more, are our strategic partners. You are all partners in development. This is an investment summit like no other. This is not just another investment summit. It is where, you could say, when the managing director was giving his welcome speech, he talked about the MOUs executed last year. In a few minutes to come, we will be signing even much more MOUs for the coming year, for now and on, some already ongoing. So here we close deals. And I want to say to my brother, Dr. Cosmas Maraga, who talked about our brother here, who has some 54 billion to invest. I said, well, I tell you one thing. You have that amount of money to invest here. You know what I'll do? In fact, I don't even mind vacating the governor's bedroom for you. The day you arrive, we just get you in a hotel. You wait there. I will bring, yes, my brother, yes. I was just talking about you. I said, the next time you come, just give me a call that you are coming. I will come and receive you at the airport. I will be your PA until we do the groundbreaking. So we get you wet in a hotel and we'll get you the CFO, provided that we get the investment, get the size this point. Anambra is much more than ready for investment. The fundamentals are very strong. We're doing everything to de-risk the investment. We're now investing very heavily now on security. And I can tell you in the coming weeks and months, it will not only be talked about, you will not only feel it, you will touch it. That Anambra will become one of the safest states to do business. We're not joking about it. We've taken it as a big, massive challenge that we need to sort out. We're asking people to invest in Anambra, not to do us a favor. We're asking people to invest in Anambra in their own self-interest. Because just like Dr. Maduka said, we don't get to an investor and say, come and help me. No. Money will go to where it is safe in Anambra, especially in the new cities that we are building, 3 new cities. The mixed-use industrial city, the Oka 2.0, and the Onitsha 2.0. If you take an investment there today, in some years to come, you will compare with other locations where you have investment in terms of return on investment. There are about 11 companies now slated that I will be going for their commissioning ceremonies. People know why they are here. Those who are are expanding. And those who are still out there doing analysis. Those who are in today, in a few years' time, will be able to bring it down so that you can have 22, 24-hour electricity, and we have commissioned the building of basic infrastructure in the place. We will be de-risking this, bringing one on ease of doing business of the 17 states in southern Nigeria. We are very deliberate, very intentional about this. Our opportunities are clear. Here we're presenting you with bankable projects. Bankable projects. The industrial city, very bankable. And I'm glad you heard Arise. Arise is one of the leading companies in the world in terms of developing industrial parks. Yes, they have confirmed, together with Afrexim Bank, in the first quarter next year, we'll begin the journey in developing that 4,000 plus in mixed industrial city, as it were. Hotel, that's part of the things we'll probably be signing here. The piling is already ongoing. So it's not a proposal, it's ongoing, if you want to. Our Fund City is ongoing, nearly about 90% completed. We're asking you to come and join. And we have a new city as well that will be developing, Agolo Lake area that will be developing. Another city, about 200 hectares, that will be the future entertainment leisure city of not only Nigeria, but of West Africa. Because the Fund City that we're building, I understand, will be the biggest in West Africa upon completion in the next few months. So we're not just saying, we come with value proposition. We're telling you, you have value to take home from Anambra. So thank you, Nalda. Thank you all those who have spoken. The automotive design agency and so on. Let us all, hand in glove, holding one another. Let's move. Others who are here already will be commissioning them. On energy, well, one of the 2 panels that will happen afterwards here, because after my my remarks, I think we'll be listening to the speech from Mr. President a bit for a few minutes, sign the strategic agreements, MOUs and so on, and then have the 2 technical sessions. One session will be on that mixed-use industrial city, and we'll see what it is all about. and how we are proceeding about it. But all I can tell you is that today, if you need land, and we have proof of concept, not only proof of funds, because I have to be very serious. Land is platinum gold in Anambra. Just like Lagos, we have the second smallest landmass after Lagos. And we have the second highest population density after Lagos, population per square kilometers. So we don't have land. But while Lagos is expanding by reclaiming the ocean, Anambra is shrinking because of gully erosion. So land is shrinking in Anambra. It's very scarce, very pricey, and that's why in all around the places where we are developing, you put up the infrastructure today and the value goes up 2,000% in a few months. So for those who come, if you're coming to invest, you need land. We have reformed our Ministry of Lands. You can get C of O within hours or days, 3 days now. We can get you C of O to do business. But we will only, and I tell you, I'm very businesslike about it, very businesslike. Show us the money, show seriousness about commitment. I will give you an irrevocable letter of comfort, okay? Contingent on you demonstrating some clear milestones in terms of the investment. Because what had happened in the past is that some land speculators come and they tell you they have $10 billion to invest. Give us land. You just give them the land, they go and fence it around and wait for Soludo to leave office. And then they go and petition it and start selling land. Because just granting the land in itself and they fence it, the value more than doubles. Then the next time again, you see them parcelate it and they go to Ministry of Land and ask for change of purpose. And then they parcelate the land and start selling land. So, other than land speculators, those who really want to do investment, we give you revocable letter of comfort so you can approach your banker or your financiers. And once you achieve clear key milestones as agreed, we then issue you the certificate of occupancy. We don't issue that before you come because we have seen, in fact, we have had to revoke several of those lands held by speculators, as it were. But for those who are ready and who are doing business, we have been, issuing them with us, and we're going on inspection and seeing the projects on development. So we are ready. If you are ready, we'll move on with you as strategic partners. We are investing billions on our airport to, complete it fit for purpose in all ramifications. I think in the next few weeks or so, we'll be able to complete the landing thing, and then aircraft will be able to land at night and any time of the day. And then building it from the highway and so on. We're just doing it properly, and the protocol lounge and so on and so forth, all of those will be ready in the next few weeks and months. So what is the message to all of us in the Anambra and to Nigerians and to the world? Here is the place to be. I heard it. Anambra is a hub that has boundary with the north through Kogi, boundary with the southwest, south-south via Delta and rivers. We have boundary with Delta and rivers on the south-south, and we have boundary with Enugu, Abia, and Imo. It's a hub, and that's why it ended up having the largest market in West Africa. And we are rising again. A new market has been designed. We're going to have not just the largest market in West Africa, but the largest in Africa. And those of you who are interested in investing, let's come and do it together. We have these things designed. They're not ideas floating, and costed actually. So, Dr. Madoka and a young friend, that 54 billion, I will not let you leave this town with it again. You are going to drop it behind before you drop it. Dr. Madoka, Sa'i, several others. I know the gas and the stuff that we will be discussing in the next panel discussions. I know that Dr. Ibeto has initiative, as it were. Many of, but then we have several other which will be commissioned in the next few months. Then other solid minerals, come and partner with us. We are having them sorted out now to work with the Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals. We'll get the concessions ready for business. Come in. We must ensure that you make money. That way, you will find it profitable to invest here. And our job, our mission, is to turn Anambra, attract you, and make this home. I made a commitment on my swearing in there that my commitment is to help to build a state where I would like to live after leaving office. And that commitment is very firm. I'm very deliberate about it. We're building a state that I will be proud to live in. And so we want to put in all those things that I would be glad to enjoy in my state. And as day follows night, we are working 24/7 to make sure that we get those done. Once again, I want to thank all our partners who have joined us for the Innovation District. And you also saw the Innovation District that we are building, 13-hectare piece of land. For Anambra, this wasn't advertised enough, and for all investors. We have 13 hectares of land where you have the government house now, the governor, where the governor's office and all those buildings all around the place. In some weeks to come, we are leaving that place because for the first time in 33 years, we are breaking the 33-year-old jinx by giving Anambra on a 23-hectare new city that we are building, where you have a befitting government house and governor's lodge. We are moving out of that place, and the old place will now, 13 hectares of land and so on, will become our own Silicon Valley. And we're already developing the first iconic building there, which will be ready by April, May next year. 24 hours are not enough. We're in such a great haste. But I welcome you all as partners. As partners, let us partner to create prosperity. Prosperity for you and prosperity for Anambra. That is the mindset with which we approach it. We're not asking for charity. We're not asking you to do us favor. We're asking, let us also help you to make money. That way, Anambra will prosper. And it's on this note that it's my pleasure. Therefore, let me do the job of the compare by now welcoming our own son, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Dr. Emeka Vitalis Obi, whom I understand the President had delegated the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning to come on his behalf. But then they had to schedule an emergency Federal Executive Council for today, and that the Minister himself will be presenting the medium-term expenditure framework that will underpin the 2025 budget. And so I learned the Presidency called the PAMSEC this morning, said he must be here to represent, to deliver the President's speech. And after that, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a short 10-minute break. Then we do all the signing of the deals, and then the two breakout sessions, and we'll bring this to a close. My pleasure, call the representative of Mr. President, Dr. Vitalis Emeka Obi, to please come and deliver the address of Mr. President. Thank you very much, and God bless all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Chukwumasolu, CFR, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Anambra State, Dr. Onyeka Chukwu Ibezim, Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister for Regional Development, His Honorable Abubakar Momo, Your Excellency, all commissioners in the State Executive Council Cabinet and their permanent secretaries, members of the State House of Assembly, the Speaker, Your Excellency, the CEO of Chrome Groups, Chief Sir Emeka Ofo, Your Excellency, the CEO of Kuskari Group, Chief Dr. Cosmas Maduka, the High Commissioner for Kenya, all diplomatic envoys here present, the Country Director, UNDP, CEOs and Executive Secretary of ministries, departments, and agencies, banks, captains of industries, organized private sectors, traditional leaders here present, representatives of the youths and citizens of my dear beloved Anambra State, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I hereby present the remarks by His Excellency the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, at the Anambra Investment Summit this day, Thursday, the 14th of November 2024. I read thus. I am honored to join you all for the Anambra Investment Summit 2024. This gathering underscores a vital part of our national pursuit of transformative and inclusive economic growth across our states and regions. As a nation, we have entered a new era in which subnational contributions are pivotal to Nigeria's collective prosperity. Anambra State stands out as a shining example of what is achievable when vision, strategy, and political action align to attain development and progress. Anambra State has a rich and proud history as a commercial hub and center of technology and innovation in Nigeria. Through this investment summit, the state reaffirms its commitment to becoming a driving force in Nigeria's economic transformation. I commend Governor Soludo and the entire Anambra State government for their ambition to make the state a beacon of industrial progress, a center of innovation, and a model for sustainable development. Your theme, Changing Gears, Accelerating Anambra's Economic Transformation, aptly captures what our country needs at this critical junction in its development. Ladies and gentlemen, the path to economic prosperity at the subnational level begins with a solid commitment to security, infrastructure, technology, agriculture, industrialization, and empowering our people. I am encouraged by Anambra's dedication to these pillars through its roadmap for economic development. As President, I remain steadfast in delivering on my electoral promises. Our vision is to create a prosperous, secure, and inclusive Nigeria. We are implementing necessary reforms to strengthen our economy, but we recognize these challenges can lead to short-term discomfort. Many citizens face challenges due to the temporary painful outcomes of these reforms. I empathize deeply with those hurting at this time. Let me commend Governor Soludo for conceptualizing and developing several groundbreaking projects in Anambra State. that will promote the state as an investment destination. These include the Anambra Mixed-Use Industrial City, the Anambra Intra-Rail System, the new Oka and Onitsha City developments, and the Solution Innovation District, Anambra's own Silicon Valley. Reflecting on my journey as governor of Lagos, I envision significant infrastructure projects such as the Lagos Light Rail, the Eco Atlantic City, the Lekki Deep Sea Port. Many critics dismiss the plans as mere political rhetoric. Yet today, with 3 governors who came after me, those projects are operational, thus serving as a testament to what is possible with vision, determination, and political will. I urge the people of Anambra State to rally behind Governor Soludo and his transformational plans. As politicians prepare for the next election, let us remember that the real statesmen plan for the next generation and the unborn. My government fully supports these initiatives. We will expedite approvals for incentives such as the Special Economic Zone license for the Anambra Mixed-Use Industrial City and provide the necessary pioneer status incentives where applicable. In conclusion, let us remember that the development of any nation lies in the hands of its people, its leaders, and its commitment to progress. Let us make this summit a turning point, a springboard toward a more prosperous, secure, and sustainable Anambra and Nigeria. I congratulate the state on this momentous occasion. On this note, I formally declare the Anambra Investment Summit 2024 open. God bless Anambra State, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces.
I think our President deserves a bigger round of applause. Thank you very much to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He'll be represented here by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Budget and National Planning, Vitalis Emeka Obi. Thank you very much for that beautiful message. Ladies and gentlemen, what a day we are having so far. What a day we're having so far. Can we put our hands together for the Executive Governor again? That speech he gave earlier was really, really mind-blowing. I know those of you who are not from Anambra State might be a little jealous. Not a lot of your governors can give inspiring speeches like that without a script. We are happy to inspire you, but we will not be loaning our governor anytime soon. We're very proud of all the good work Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo continues to do in Anambra State. And we heard all of the great plans that this beautiful state of ours have to come in the future. And like he said, by this time next year, you won't even recognize what you're seeing right now in the state because the plans are heavy. Last year, we had a few of the signings done right here on this stage. And if you viewed some of the exhibits outside and you've interacted with some of the guests here, you know that the results are already been shown. So it was nice to hear the governor talk about a lot of the great plans he has in future. I was waiting to listen to one thing though, because last year, Mr. Governor, you promised to name a street after me. I'm still waiting. I thought you were going to talk about it. Maybe when you are signing, I'll be the last person that will sign the street part with you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to call on the Executive Governor of Anambra State back to the stage because it's time for us to sign some of these amazing agreements. We know that our brother here has promised us 58 billion. Well, looking at you, don't worry, we'll come to you later. Please welcome the Executive Governor of Anambra State. Your hands together for committing to making sure that Anambra State gets all the investment that it deserves and continues to change gears to accelerate the economic transformation that this state is already witnessing. Ladies and gentlemen, while the Executive Governor takes its seat, I'd like to call on the MD CEO of ANSIPA to please join me here on stage. Please put your hands together for Mark Okoye Jr. as he comes up on stage to help us facilitate all of the signings that we're going to be doing here today. Your hands together for him, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we've listened to goodwill messages. We've heard the Executive Governor. We've heard the President's speech. These are the most important parts of what we're here today. A lot of the speeches are great, but the tangible things are what we gathered here to do, to make sure that after all the talking, we see action and pen being put to paper. So whatever it is you came here to do today, this is the most important part of why we're here today. Because in Anambra, we just don't talk, we do. Ikweme.
Your Excellency, Your Excellencies, all other protocols duly observed. First, we would like to call the resident rep and the country director of United Nations Development Program. Please join us on stage, ma'am. The UNDP and Anambra State government will be partnering to build the Maker's Place, the digital hub and innovation hub to be built here in Oka at the library. And it was actually groundbroken yesterday. The groundbreaking for the ceremony happened yesterday. And the project will be completed in about a year. Less than a year. Oh, wow. Less than a year. Sorry, ma. So please, a round of applause for the UNDP and Anambra State government. Round of applause. Next, we'll be calling the Executive Secretary of the National Agricultural Land Development. As he's walking up, I'll do the description. Sir, can I? Industrial Park for agricultural projects. But to make that functional, we must boost productivity and crop production in Anambra State. So Anambra State and NAUDA will be signing an agreement to develop agricultural land up to 2,000 hectares, making Anambra the pilot program within the Southeast. Thank you very much, NAUDA, CEO. They would typically just maybe develop the land, and then the sustainability plan was not necessarily well structured. But the DG, or the Executive Secretary, insisted that every project we culture. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can Dam get ready to come up, please?
Ladies and gentlemen, while this goes on, especially those at the back, please, can we limit our movements? This is a very integral part of today's event. Please limit how you walk about and chit-chat. Please settle down wherever you are. Thank you.
Dami Adeboju, is she here? Okay? We'll go on with the next person. I'm sure she's around the corner. JNCL. Anambra and JNCL will be partnering on an oncology center. We will be building the infrastructure. They will be providing project development support and fundraising support to ensure it is equipped with ultra-modern oncology devices. Can Marriage, please, Marriage, be prepared to come up. Marriage International. Marriage. Marriage is one of our own big industrialists here in Anambra who has committed to building a transportation terminal that would have electric vehicles, charging stations, CNG stations, and an ultra-modern bus park at the Okuzu Park. Project we've worked on for about 7 months with the Ministry of Transport. Thank you very much, Mrs. Patricia Egubike. We'll be committing about 1.5 billion in the first phase, and in the second phase, another 1 to 2 billion naira. Thank you very much. Is Dami here? So Dami, prepare to come up, please. Okay. Yes, so Dami will be signing 2 agreements. She's the director in charge of Marriott International West Africa. And as Mr. Governor promised, he wants to transform Anambra from a departure lounge to a destination. So the hotel to my far right, the 150-bedroom 5-star hotel, Marriott will be managing it on behalf of the state. And the Agulu Lake Hotel, which we already own, it will be managed by Protea. And that's the agreement being signed.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to put it in context, when you come back to the ICC, where you are right now, in 2 or 3 years, in 2 years, there will be a 5-star hotel located in this same compound, courtesy of this agreement being signed right now with Marriott International. Can we put our hands together? This is great news. We're not just talking agriculture, we're not just talking infrastructure, we're not just talking roads and housing, we're also talking tourism to make sure that Anambra's potential is fully harnessed.
Mr. Dolapo Ogumeka. The head of sales and marketing, representing the CEO of Axela. After him, can the VFD group also prepare to come up? Thank you. Axela, please. Axela, for those who don't know, own the largest network of gas pipelines in the country, formerly part of Owando, but now a standalone entity, a very ambitious company, and this is just a display of intent of what Mr. Governor is trying to achieve. They will be working with us to design, develop, and finance gas pipeline projects aimed at reticulating gas to Nnewi, Onitsha, Awka, and in the medium to long term, the Awka mixed-use industrial city. They have already commissioned a pre-feasibility, so I think this one could move quite quickly. We are searching for feedstock, and we know SIPCO is here. So look forward to that panel. Is VFD Group ready? VFD Group, are they ready? Is VFD Group here? Please, a round of applause, please, a round of applause. VFD Group is owned by Anambra Nonso Okpala from UGA, one of the larger financial institutions, also playing in the technology space. VFD have also commissioned an extensive study of Anambra State. They are very ambitious about building their renewable energy business, and they want to design, finance, build and operate solar independent power plants to all our major markets in the state. They want to move very, very quickly. So I can believe that probably in the first quarter, you'll be seeing some very visible, actionable updates from their side, their end. Genesis Energy. Are they ready? Are they here? Please come forward, please. Genesis Energy are probably one of the larger power companies who have significant amounts of funding from the U.S. Power Africa Fund. And they already have actually purchased the turbines, but they are looking for feedstock. They want to provide power to our major industrial clusters in the Onitsha Harbor area. We're looking to develop a gas-powered IPP, independent power project. But the critical thing here is the feedstock. Where does the feedstock come from? Where will it come from? And that answer will be given or will be shared to the audience by the second panel, where we discuss how we are meeting the energy needs of Anambra State. Congratulations, Genesis Energy. Can MP Infrastructure come up, please? MP Infrastructure, get ready to come up, please. MP Infrastructure are the developers of the largest smart city in the southeast and the south-south, with 16 kilometers of internal roads, fiber, power cables buried. Homes are all smart. And now they're partnering with us to develop the first phase of Onitsha mixed use. Supports the project with the reclamation, dredging of sand to fill the first phase. Their role will be to finance all the studies, finance the master plan, and also fund the infrastructure on the first 50 hectares of the city. This will be done over the next 12 to 18 months. And Mr. Governor has committed for the dredging to commence next year. MP Infrastructure. Can Cardinal Stone get ready? Now, for those who know, as Michael comes up, for those who know Mr. Governor's brainchild while he was at the CBN, he was the founder, he conceptualized what is today the Africa Finance Corporation. Initial capital injection under his time was $1 billion. They've grown to a balance sheet of about $11 billion. He came to Anambra, and in his manifesto, he said he would create the Anambra Development and Investment Corporation, which will take projects from conceptualization all the way to bankability and financing. As a show of effort, as a show of intent, the law of the Anambra Development and Investment Corporation has already been sent to the House of Assembly, and Cardinal Stone, who are the country's premier investment banking firm, has shown that commitment by investing 500 million naira of seed capital into the Anambra Development and Investment Corporation. So similar to the way organizations, UBA, Access Bank and Co. have shares in AFC, Cardinal Stone is the first investment bank owning shares in the Anambra Development and Investment Corporation. So the banks who are here, the other investment banks, development finance institutions, Mr. Governor wants ADIC to have the same structure, the credibility, the integrity and corporate governance that AFC has, and we are replicating that at the Anambra level. Congratulations, Mike. Thank you, sir.
Hello? Yes, we have just finished signing a set of these agreements and MOUs, and we're hopeful that by the time we come back next year, we'll be able to give progress report. Last year, we signed with Omar Kojo Motors, and I understand by January, we'll be going for the commissioning of the second automobile manufacturing company here in Anambra State. We signed that MOU sometime last year, and it's already come ready for commissioning. So I think hopefully by next year when we come back, we'll be able to show which of them, have taken off life and how far they have gone. It's not if, it's about whether they're 90% or 100% or whatever completion. Huh? Yes, Orca Shopping Mall was signed last year, and we're hopeful that by March, we should be commissioning that as well, and so on and so forth. So it's, this is not another investment summit where we'll come and do talk shop and, it will be nice to invest or discuss 1,000 reasons, constraints to investment. Here, when we discuss all the constraints which we know, we also find 5, 6 reasons why we do invest. And here in Anambra, it's investors' delight. And like I said earlier, we'll be signing more as they come. But you come, and we're ready for business. Thank you very much. And I think the panel now goes into session. Okay? Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please your hands together for Anambra State. Anambra State is working. We're moving forward. There's a lot happening in this state. Spread the word. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues, tell your business partners that if they want their businesses to thrive, if they want their investments to yield results, this is the place to be. Once again, your hands together for Executive Governor of Anambra State, ladies and gentlemen. I can see a lot of business deals being signed and contacts being made, but would please crave your indulgence to please settle down. I know the executive governor had mentioned earlier that we'll take a tea break. Don't worry, refreshments will come to you wherever you are, because we like the momentum that we have right now. We want to keep that momentum going so that we just have our 2 panels very quickly and then call it a day and spend the rest of the evening signing those informal deals that we didn't sign on stage, because we know a lot of you are hungry to invest in Anambra State. Ladies and gentlemen, please, wherever you are, please take your seats. This is a very integral part of today's event. Dignitaries and our VIPs, please, before we wrap up the event for today, this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our very first panel for the day.
Yes, you've heard what Ebuka has been hammering. Please, want to crave your indulgence, so please take your seats. I know we are, exchanging contacts. The world has become a global village. People interact. People, make deals after the ones Mr. Governor signed with partners. I know some people are going around still exchanging banters and, connecting. So, Ibuka, please call on the panelists to come forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, once again, we crave your indulgence to please take your seats, please. This is a very integral part of today's event. We want to get through this panel discussions. Please take your seats wherever you are so that we can hear what this panel has to say to us. Because a lot of what the panel discussons discussants said last year were yielding the results and fruits currently. So it's a very, very important part of our event today. Ladies and gentlemen, our first panel discussion is on projects focusing on the Anambra mixed-use industrial city. Very quick panel, 30-40 minutes, to give us an insight into all of the plans and prospects. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call on the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, who will be moderating this beautiful panel. Please put your hands together for Chiamaka Nake as she joins me right here on stage. Your hands together for her, ladies and gentlemen. The Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning here in Anambra State, Chiamaka Nake, as she joins me here on stage for the first panel, the first of 2 panels this afternoon to discuss the Anambra mixed-use industrial city and all of the great prospects and why you should be investing and be a part of this laudable, but most importantly, like we've heard from a lot of the goodwill messages today, a project that is already taking off. And it's not just something that's written in the sky and we are waiting for it to happen. It's already happening. Ladies and gentlemen, please, your hands together for our Commissioner as she joins me here on stage.
Here, and I would say this is our very first panel. Okay, the moderator, the MC just introduced me. So my name, he said, and it is Chiamaka Nake, the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Anambra State. So here, so I'll introduce my panelists, right? So this is a very interesting panel, and I hope before we start, everyone settles down, just so we can understand and actually enjoy the session. So it's about the understanding of Anambra State mixed-use industrial city. And I know that throughout this investment summit, I think from beginning to this time, We've all heard about the mixed-use industrial city, and we also have heard about AMIC. I think this is just panelists. The first person, Diane, please follow suit. Representative of Afrexim, Morenike Adebi, please come on. Dr. Chukwemeke Ezedima, please come up. That's from AFDB. Please, let's just have everyone up here. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I know we have so many things to catch up on. While we're getting the panel on stage, please, as much as we can. There are too many side conversations happening. Please, can we take our seats so we can pay attention to the reason why we are gathered here, please? We crave your indulgence, please. Thank you.
Thank you. The panel is about to start, and we need all the attention possible. Okay, it's about AMIC. We are here to discuss AMIC. That's Anambra State's mixed-use industrial city. And of course, we've had a whole lot. We've had from the presentation, from the MD's opening remarks, the video presentation, to the governor's speech, to everything that has happened. There's been a whole lot said about the Anambra State mixed-use industrial city. So this panel is just to have a deeper dive, just to explain what this mixed-use industrial city is about, the features and the opportunities that it portends for the Anambra and potential investors. So this is what this panel is about. We hope by the time we are done with it, everyone in Anambra State and every potential investor will see this as a potent opportunity to be to take advantage of. I think that's just what to start off. But just for a bit background, the mixed-use industrial city is sitting on 4,000 hectares. Is located in the southern part of Anambra State, and of course, it has over 10 zones, right? I know that the details will be explained in by one of my panelists, and also from estimation, we have a very bullish assumption that for us to fully develop the zone, we need nothing less than $4 billion to be able to bring the project to life, and of course, the full development of the project. So what we are saying today is actually to have a very big understanding, or very deep understanding of what this project is about, the opportunities therein, and also some commitments from our partners and panelists here who would actually say, tell us the role they would like to play in bringing this very big project to life, right? Okay, so let's go deep right into it. I think we'll just start off with a brief introduction. I know I have introduced you, but just quickly so we can get this going.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christian, Udechukwu Christian. I am Commissioner for Industry in the government of Anambra State. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Narayanan. I am the CEO of Artelia Consulting, formerly called Mahindra Consulting. Thank you.
My name is Morenike Adebi. I am a representative from African Export-Import Bank. Thank you.
My name is Chuma Ezedima. I represent the African Development Bank Group, and also I'm team lead for the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zone from Abidjan. Thank you.
First question, and this will go to Commissioner for Industry. I know that from this administration, industrialization is a very big agenda on of Mr. Governor. So how does AMIC align with the current industrialization agenda of Mr. Governor?
Sorry, 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, we have pleaded, please take your seats and keep it down. People who are not listening to us. We need to get people to settle down. Please, can we take our seats, please? We need to take our seats, please, so that we can go on with today's events. Those at the back, please keep your voices down. This is a very important part of today's event. Our industrialist, Dr. Cosmas Madoka, thank you very much. Please, we'd just like to crave your indulgence, everyone. So please take our seats so that we can pay attention to the reason why we are gathered here today, please. Enough of the walking around and pleasantries, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Industrial City is the flagship project for the industrialization of Anambra. Historically, Anambra State has been very strong in trade, commerce, and industry, primarily an agro-based economy, but with strong entrepreneurial drive. And we have 12 clusters of industrial developments across Anambra. But the haphazard growth that we have seen historically meant that Mr. Governor, Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, felt the need to have a structured approach to industrial development. And that is the reason this administration has given birth to the concept development for Anambra Mixed-Use Industrial City. It is an industrial development that is cross-sectoral in focus. We have the automotive industrial park, where all the latest technologies related to assemblage, whether it be CKD or SKD enterprises, will be located. We have the pharmaceutical industrial project. The industrial park for the pharmaceutical entities also will be structured specifically to cater to the needs of pharmaceutical industries. And then we have the agro-processing. The agro-processing essentially is focused on what it says it will do, which is food processing. And then we also have the logistics, the warehouses, the entertainment centers, the financial centers, the high-tech centers, the high-tech zones, the textiles, clothing, apparel lines, and then the residential areas. Now, it's a complete ecosystem that also includes an airstrip and a helipad with play zones and walk-to-walk locations to be able to cater to the needs of the specialized industries that will be located there. I hope that answers your question.
That's well responded to. So you said that this, the AMIC is our flagship project of this present administration and is geared towards enabling our industrialization drive. I think that's quite explainable, that's understandable from what you have just said. I think the question then smoothly goes to the next, our next speaker, who is the CEO of Atelier Consulting. Atelier Consulting developed or supported Anambra State government in developing the master plan, the business plan of AMIC. I think to everywhere, how is this unique and what are the features of this industrial plan? I think we want to hear that from you and see how this...
Thank you. Thank you for that question. AMIC is very uniquely configured. Before we started the configuration, we have studied the success and failure models of many industrial parks across various states in Nigeria as well as across the various continents. And then we have uniquely conceived with certain key principles, which I will explain. The first and foremost is the selection of appropriate value chains. We have selected those value chains which are very much required for this state and also aligning with the policies and vision of the state. Also the Honorable Commissioner had his own visions. So all those things have been brought into, so we are exactly aligning with the policy of the state. While configuring the value chains, we have also considered the export opportunity products, the import substitute products, and how the innovative and new products can be brought into this project. And then the second most important thing is the demand assessment for these value chains. We have carefully estimated the demand, and the industrial park, we cannot just decide how much of acres or hectares we need to develop the project. We need to clearly come up with an estimation. What is the demand for space within the industrial park? So for those value chains which have been shortlisted, we had come up with the most realistic model and come up with a most appropriate area for development. And that also will be developed over phases. Then the next exercise, we did a proper benchmarking. Here the benchmarking is in terms of infrastructure, the pricing strategies, and also we have considered many factors like the affordability of the occupant units, the likely participation from the various private sectors. So all those things have been taken into consideration. And then this Anambra AMIC mixed use industrial city is above other industrial parks that are being developed in the country. Then the next exercise is developing it as a holistic city, that is city by itself. So it is not only addressing the requirement of the industrial infrastructure, we have also included all the social, commercial and other infrastructures, and apart from general infrastructure like road, water, sewer, etc., we have also included the specialized and specific infrastructure specifically catering to the needs of the occupant industries. In a nutshell, it is a city by itself, and it is a self-contained city where you will have a work, live, learn, play concept. Then the next exercise is the stakeholder consultation. We have done a very thorough stakeholder consultation, and with the stakeholder consultation, we have arrived at the exact requirement of the key stakeholders, and the designs are very much customized. Then we started the implementation focus. Implementability is very important for such projects. So we have understood the nitty-gritties of developing an industrial park in this state, and we have made it very inclusive model in a way that we are providing various options to the occupant industries. Like for example, we are providing plug-and-play facilities, we are providing flatted factories, multi-tenanted buildings, also providing the land for lease to the occupant units who can build their own facilities. So in a way, we are making it very socially sustainable, inclusive model, and anybody can operate. And also within the parcellation, we are trying to give small-scale industries, medium enterprises, large enterprises. So anybody looking for land can come and occupy within this industrial estate. Then we have made it a very phased implementation, and then all the eco-efficiency and sustainable features of development have been included. And end of the day, we are also trying to attempt industrial ecology, symbiosis, and also a circular economic creation. So it will be a very sustainable model in the AMIC space. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the insights you've given on the AMIC. I think if I recap what you just said, you're saying that the AMIC model was developed, project was developed to accelerate development of value chains in Anambra State. So that means the Anambra State's context was put into consideration. What are we able to produce? What do we have advantage in Anambra State to be able to produce? And that kind of defined the industries that you prioritized and the zones you prioritized in the zones. And you're looking at potential for exports. You are looking at the import substitutions. You're also looking at some a demand-driven sectoral focus that could actually drive the acceleration of the city. You said something unique about the zone is that it cannot be, we don't expect it to be developed once, so it's being planned in phases. So that kind of gives us almost says that we can start as quickly as possible. And then also, I know you spoke so much about it being a smart city, and also the need that some sustainability conversations has been taken into consideration to ensure that those projects actually is sustainable and it also meets the demands of this current time. And I think there's something you said very importantly, that you did a whole lot of stakeholder consultation, and that's to say that the plan should be holistic, or it is holistic, and maybe captures the inputs, has a well-rounded input from everyone. I think that's quite insightful to know. I think the next question will go to Afrexim Morenike. I had said that based on a very bullish scenario for the development of this plan, the state needs to invest a minimum at least $4 billion to fully develop this plan, this park. So what would Afrexim do? First is to ask, how does Afrexim kind of support the development, or how do they advise, especially in development of this kind of park, and what role will they play in supporting Anambra State on this?
Okay, thank you very much, Madam. So I'm going to approach the question under 4 headings of how Afrexim Bank has planned and everything is also well detailed in the Memorandum of Understanding that was signed, but I will just do a recap again of how Afrexim Bank is partnering with the AMIC. So under the first one will be to provide technical support. So Afrexim Bank, in collaboration with Arise IIP, who had also spoken earlier today, are working together to work on bringing the project to bankability. And what does that mean? We are working together on the feasibility studies, which is ongoing right now, and we are looking at completing it in the first quarter of 2025. Apart from that, we are also, in collaboration with Arise as well, we are working on the legal frameworks. We are also providing other technical services. So then I move to the financial support. Under the agreement as well, Afrexim Bank is committed to providing $1 billion, and that would go a long way in ensuring that the projects come up to speed. So we are working on the project from the feasibility study up to the project preparation, then the project itself, and even after the project as well, we are still going to be providing financial support one way or the other to ensure that the project keeps running and it's sustained, or it outlives every one of us here. Then the other part that we are also providing support is the capacity building. So as we know that having a project is not just enough, but having the right set of people with the right skill set is what would take the project to the next level. So Afrexim Bank has also committed to provide capacity building support in areas of training, and then we also have several SME workshops that we are also slated to provide. And then also we have technical and support services as well. So all these are what we always provide to our existing industrial parks and special economic zones. And this as well is the same kind of support that we will lend to the AMIC. And then the last on the list will be the market access. So now the project is ready. The Afrexim Bank also, because of our partnership across the continent, because of our multilateral status, and then we also have other sub-companies. For instance, let me quickly talk about our new company, which is ATDC, is the Afrexim Bank Transformation and Development Company. What ATDC does is that it provides markets to all the products and services that are churning out of the industrial parks. So let's say, for instance, like my colleague has said here about the agro-processing, about the automobiles, all these products are ready. How do we ensure that these products get to the right channels, to the right regions, So because of what ATDC does is they take these products off and they advertise this across the entire region in Africa. So that is one of the service that we are going to be providing. We also will facilitate, like I said earlier, will facilitate connections with the main regional hubs in the country and within the continent. And then Afrexim Bank also have what we call the African Quality Assurance Centers. Our African Quality Assurance Centers, what we basically do is to ensure that the products that are coming from our industrial parks and special economic zones are of the right quality that would attract, that are fit for export. Let me just say that. So now they ensure that the testing is right, they have the right certifications and standards, and then ensure that all the products and services that are coming out of the zone are marketable and they are acceptable from importers and exporters alike. So these are some of the among other things, these are some of the ways in which we will be partnering with AMIC to ensure that it is successful, and not only that, it outlives every one of us here, and then it transcends into generations that are coming after us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It kind of shows us that Afrexim is here to stay with us for the longest time, right? Because from the project development to being a long-term partner on this particular project, and also to mention that I think we haven't even tapped like half of the potential of the that Afrexim has, from the technical support, the technical, the capacity building, the quality assurance. I think what even highlights is that for people who don't have any market or who haven't been in any particular business, could actually start off with AMIC and be able to see through their produce to the market, because we have more like an end-to-end support to ensure that this project, whatever you choose to do within the park, actually kind of gets to the end users. I think, thank you, Afrexim, Morenike, for telling us that we have a long-term partnership with Afrexim. Thank you so much. So the next question will go to AFDB. AFDB is here represented by Dr. Chukuma Ezedinma. I think the question is, of course, we will also know what the bulk of things to do we will be doing with AFDB. But I think to just mention around the importance of infrastructure, because I know that I hear Governor saying we are trying to catalyze some of the investments in AMIC by making some pre-investments into this location. I think the question is, what options do we have? I think that's the first question to you before we go into the future. What options do we have? Because yes, the state can do so much, but then are there arrays of options that we haven't considered? Perhaps you could tell us broadly what we could, what options we have to actually stimulate some infrastructure investments in the park before we finally get into to attract more investment.
Yeah, thank you very much, Commissioner. Let me begin by saying that when it comes to financing, you either have debt or you have equity. And the African Development Bank is coming in on the debt side. One of the options which actually is being considered by the states in terms of the AMIC is the public-private partnership option, in which ARISE is, through the support of the Afrexim, is providing the equity. The African Development Bank is going to provide the debt. And that has already been discussed as of last 2 weeks with the government, with ANSIPA and the rest of the team and the commissioner here. The bank, African Development Bank, about 8 to 10 states on what to call the special agro-industrial processing zones. Our emphasis in Anambra State, AMIC, is with respect to the agricultural zone within AMIC. And we have agreed with the government that we will secure that site by fencing it and providing a signature gate, as well as doing the major road
There's a major arterial road within the park. The bank is going to, African Development Bank is going to fund that specifically. And then we are looking also at the production zones, the agricultural transformation centers. The bank, African Development Bank, is going to fund all the agricultural transformation centers within the state. There are 3 of them. We need to boost production, and because of that, we need to ensure that we have the production consistently supplying the industries in the agro-industrial park. Otherwise, if you do the park and you don't have the production, then you have a challenge. So the bank is also funding that aspect in full. And we are funding that under a PPP arrangement. Let me mention the PPP arrangement that Anambra State has proposed is actually what the bank is currently using now across the country to ensure that all other states that are under the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zone program follow the same approach. So we are very strong on that, and that has given us a model that we can use across the country. As you also know, I currently also lead the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zone across the continent for Africa, and we're currently working in 11 countries in 28 sites. And in many of these sites, we are also plowing in a PPP model that is similar to what the state is doing. So PPP model is a major infrastructure funding approach that we are going to be using with respect to the Anambra State Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zone, or AMIC, as you call it. So basically, that's what it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chukuma. So you just told us what AFDB will do. I think from the part of what you said, that this is, whatever you're going to do in Anambra State is more like replicating a model that is already working somewhere else. And you also, I think the commitment around the fencing of the zone, making the access roads already, yes, the major access roads into the zone actually kind of tells us that I think we already have our special agro processing zone almost ready. And I think that's a something comforting from this panel. And I think just to mention, for us to develop agro processing zone, and we are open to equity investments, and we're also open to debt investment, because we think that the zone has the potential to be able to repay itself or finance itself. Do you understand? So I think it's something to say that, yes, there's equity part and there's also debt part, because we see it as a very viable investment. So I think it's open, just to underscore that. I think we have gone through the first round. I think just quickly to go to Commissioner for Industry to ask, are there some sectors? Because I know that we really cannot do anything. And I say this question is asked from the Anambra State perspective. What are the key sectors that Anambra State could already, or you think that once we kickstart today, there are already opportunities to be able to tap into the sector view of that based on what we see currently in Anambra? Because we are trying to organize Anambra State, considering that we are currently largely informal. So asking from that perspective, how can are there sectors that we should be prioritizing at this time because of the immediate opportunity therein?
Well, thank you, Chiamaka, for that question. I think that the land use parcellation of Anambra mixed-use industrial city already highlights the priorities of the Anambra State government. The priorities of Anambra State government is primarily to develop the automotive industrial sector through encouraging investments into the automotive industrial park, and to ensure that we maintain a healthy population through investments in the pharmaceutical industrial park, and similarly into the agro-processing, so as to ensure that we have food security. So the land use, when you look at the spread of the 4,000 hectares of land in the Anambra mixed-use industrial city, the use of the parcels of land gives you insight into the priorities and the areas in which the state government under Professor Chukuma Charles Soludo is keen to ensure that Anambra
becomes the industrial hub for Africa, that it is the new emerging hub for industries in technology, in automotive manufacturing, in agro-processing, in the pharmaceuticals, in life technology, in innovation, in the textiles, entertainment, and banking and financial services, and also high-quality entertainment areas with mixed use in residential homes. So the general idea is to have an ecosystem that is so advanced and so at par with anything you can find anywhere in the world, but with tax incentives, policy support, and regulation that ensures that it is the best that you can have on the continent. We benchmark what we're doing in Anambra with the best anywhere in the world. Already, we have visited some locations across the African continent that are like showcases. In Cairo, we've visited industrial parks in Cairo, in Benin Republic, in Togo. We've followed very closely what's happening in the East Africa region and in the Southern Africa region, where in conversation with the Atelier Group, who are arguably the best in the world, to visit some of the industrial parks that are in India, and not just to visit them for purposes of sightseeing, but to ensure that we also bring the base of Anambra State and serving the entire continent of Africa from Anambra as the new emerging industrial hub. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, MC. I think we're rounding up now. I think you really captured all that we initially planned for from your first round. So I think I will just go around, maybe just one minute, just keep it at one minute, just give us your last words. And these are to our partners, right? We hear what you said. We hear how you're looking to your commitment to Anambra State, what you intend to do. So just maybe one last word from you before we call it a day, because we are running out of time. Yeah, so if you can just quickly help us, maybe that last commitment from you, from our partner who start off with Atelier, who has developed this plan, what level of support, how are we going to work this through, how are we working through this mile, and Afrexim and then AFDB before we call it a day. Just 1 minute.
Thank you. From Atelia's side, since we have conceived the project, we will ensure that the designs are carried out exactly suiting to the needs of the occupant industries, and we can attract investments. There are two types of investments, both the developers who can come and occupy, as well as the units that can come and occupy. So the configuration should be very flexible, and we will ensure that it happens. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Marinika, please go on.
Thank you very much. I'll just close with this. There's an African proverb that says that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, then you go together. So at Afrexim Bank, we appreciate the fact that Anambra State is leveraging on several partnership, strategic collaborations, and we also want to recommit to say that we are in it with the state government over the long run, and we wish us all the best in our future endeavors. Thank you.
Hello, thank you very much. For the African Development Bank, we will say that we are in it together. As is concerned, we will provide and support as much as we can in the short and in the long term. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been an interesting and exciting session with you guys, and I will say that at least before we leave here, we'll have many interest in the project, and of course, we'll continue to build together. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, panelists, for making this session.
Can we give a big round of applause to our panelists, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you very much for that insightful conversation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. From the audience, you can tell those who are ready to make money in Anambra State, and those were the people who were sitting and listening, because the Anambra mixed-use development is extremely important, and it's only those who decide to be a part of it that will reap the fruits and the benefits of what is to come from that amazing project. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just one more panel to go before we take our closing remarks from the chairman of ANSIPA. Before we get to that, ladies and gentlemen, we have another panel discussion, just one last panel discussion on the power and energy markets. If you are a Nigerian, you know that this is an integral part and a key to what will unlock investment and development in our country, and most importantly, in Anambra State. Ladies and gentlemen, to moderate this panel on power and energy, I'd like to call on the former chairman of General Electric and together for our moderator, Chike Okonkwo, as he joins me here on stage. Your hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. Chike Okonkwo will be joining us on stage to moderate the second panel on power and energy. It's our final panel of the day, but this is very, very important. And even if you are not a part or a member or a stakeholder in Anambra State, listening to this panel might help you take it hold. Ladies and gentlemen, Chike Okonkwo.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the second panel for today's event, the Anambra Investment Summit 2024. It is my pleasure to moderate today's panel, which I would say brings to some closure in terms of in 2022, Mr. Governor, just before his inauguration, identified the importance of having energy sufficiency in Anambra State and quickly realized the need to reconstitute the Power Committee and tasking the Power Committee to develop, fast-track the development of the regulatory institutional framework for the development of electricity market in Anambra State. I'm happy today to discuss the way we can actually meet the energy needs of Anambra State with the panelists drawn from several sectors, and I would like to call them on board. Dolapo Ogunmekon, who is the Director of Sales and Marketing at Axela Limited. Can you please join us on the panel? With him also, I'd like to invite Anthony Chukwueke, who is the MD CEO, Sterling Energy Exploration and Production Company, SIPCO. Also to join them on the panel, thank you, is Pravin Shogade, the MD CEO, Enugu Electricity Distribution Company Limited. And finally, to join them on the panel, Mr. Michael Nzewi, MD, CEO, Cardinal Stone Partners.
Yes, as the panelists are taking their seats, may I recognize the presence of the Augustine C. Onyekwelo, Zaka Jugonoga, Deputy Director of Investment and Promotion and Investors Services. Yes, NEPZA headquarters in Abuja. Representing Dr. Olufemi Oguremi, Managing Director, CEO, NEPZA headquarters in Abuja. And then Haruna Abdurrahman, Director, NMPC Gas Marketing Limited. And Ambassador Maureen Tamuno, Group MD, Aloja Investment Company Limited. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay, thanks very much. We've been asked to go straight to the point. Everything we've discussed today culminates in being able to attract investment into Anambra State. And without adequate And one of the things, like I mentioned earlier, that we did as a state, tasked by Mr. Governor, is to develop the necessary framework, both institutional and regulatory framework. And to do that, we conducted what we called an integrated resource plan, conducted by the United States Agency for International Development, or funded by the United States Agency for International Development, in which it was identified that piped natural gas will be the primary fuel for the generation of electricity in Anambra State. So with that as a backdrop, I'd like to pose the first question to Mr. Anthony Chukwueke. SIPCO, your company is the foremost oil exploration and production company in Anambra State. As you're well aware, Anambra Basin has over 10 trillion cubic feet of proven gas reserves. So the question to you is, what would organizations like yourself, like SIPCO, consider in increasing investment in the development of natural gas assets in Anambra State to enable us to meet our requirements for energy sufficiency?
Thank you very much. Reflecting on what you have asked, you have to consider that everything I tell you is from my heart, because I'm from Imo State, but my heart is also in Anambra State because we married from here. My daughter is married to a young man from Uri. So I have a big interest in making sure that Anambra grows. The philosophy that and the vision that Mr. Governor have expressed is one which I support. And we have worked together in government before, so I know when he says he is serious about it. So what I'm going to tell you is serious. And if we want to do it, make it work, it can work. Gas as a business of its own is yet to mature. You cannot produce gas on its own in a commercial
Can you get the microphone
way.
closer to you? Yes.
So, what I repeat myself, gas as a business in Nigeria is yet to mature. You cannot develop it without liquids. Liquids, I mean natural gas liquids, condensates, and LPGs must be with it. If it's not with it, then Nigeria is not yet in a position to develop it. So, a lot of the resources in Anambra State are dry. They come from very old rocks. We call them Cretaceous rocks. And so, all the liquids have escaped and the gas is dry. So you can have a lot of these reserves, but to produce it commercially is nearly impossible the way Nigeria is now. So, Anambra, and particularly the states of the Southeast, have to get the gas that is being produced today. Incidentally, the Niger Delta also gets to Anambra, but in a small way. So there are two things which we must do. And as Tony Chukwueke and as SIPCO, and following the vision of Mr. Governor, I'm prepared to do what it takes. First, it is to get the gas which is being produced today. We produce quite a bit in Anambra State, but it is not sufficient. Before you produce gas, gas is a long-term business. You commit it to people who will lift it. People don't just jump in and take that gas because it's committed. So you need to make an investment to put additional gas in place. So you don't have to kill yourself because the gas is there. What we have to do is to get the assets. Anambra has small assets, but Anambra has very bright people. You see, I've seen Cosmos Maduka, is my friend, we have talked. I saw Chief Emeka, we are colleagues, we have talked. The assets which are being divested today by the oil companies is a good opportunity for Anambra. And with our government, we have to constitute ourselves, support Anambra development. There are ways that gas can come. If even you get the asset, the block itself offshore, you trade the product. You say, give me here and take here. It happens. So what is important is to have access to commercially developable gas. And we can work it as a group. But for anything to happen in Anambra and for SIPCO, we need, I think the governor himself mentioned it, that he's working through to make sure that investors are happy to put their money in Anambra. SIPCO is already here, but we face a lot of challenges. Security, number one. People get afraid. When I was coming to Anambra this morning, they had to do all kinds, and of course.
Channels Television, you've been watching live coverage of the Anambra State 2024 Investment Summit. Please stay tuned as we bring you a live broadcast of the Ondo State PDP Grand Rally in Akure, Ondo State.
Special advisor, pé látijọ́ Sunday it will happen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. PDP. PDP. Power to the people. PDP. The good people of Ondo. We are here again once more to come and support you and urge you not to be intimidated on Saturday. Come out in mass